A net worth of trillions, pure school beauty kneels down to serve. Congratulations to their host for winning 1 trillion in cash. Congratulations to their host for winning a villa in Yunduan Xinyuan. Congratulations to their host for winning a Lamborghini Veneno. I just received the system reward and I met the school beauty taking a photo with my car. School beauty classmate, you are so pure, why are you not cold to me at all? Chapter 1 Rebirth, Binding to the Lottery System. I'm reborn. Sitting in the university dormitory, Chu Hao spent a full hour to accept this fact. He was indeed reborn. From more than 10 years later, he was reborn to the beginning of the senior year. Surrounded by the familiar dormitory, the past memories suddenly became extremely clear. Detected a suitable host, system binding. Binding progress, 11%, 35%, 78%, 99%. Binding successful. A mechanical sound without emotion suddenly sounded in his mind. An illusory light screen suddenly appeared in front of Chu Hao's eyes. System. Chu Hao was shocked. But thinking that he could be reborn. It seems normal to have another system. System, introduce your functions. Chu Hao asked the system tentatively in his heart. This system is a lottery system. Their host can draw once a day, and the rewards are completely random. If their host is not satisfied with the system, he can unbind at any time. The system responds very quickly. Chu Hao looked at the light screen in front of him and fell into deep thought. Draw once a day. That is to say, he can get rewards every day. It sounds good. But this reward is completely random, which is a bit cheating. What if he is a non-African and can only draw garbage rewards? Don't say it's a lottery. Even if it's 1,000 or 10,000 times, what's the use? System, can I draw now? Chu Hao asked in his heart. Today's lottery opportunity has been issued, the host can directly draw the lottery. The novice gift package has been issued, and 2 additional lottery opportunities are given. That is to say, a total of 3 lottery opportunities. This system is quite generous. Chu Hao quickly washed his face and respected a hand of metaphysics. Lottery. Chu Hao took a deep breath and chanted in his heart. There are lottery opportunities every day anyway. As long as you can get it for free, it is a good system. Congratulations to their host for winning 1 trillion in cash. Congratulations to their host for winning a villa in Yunduan Xinyuan. Congratulations to their host for winning a Lamborghini Veneno. 3 system prompts sounded in succession. There was no lottery screen, only plain rewards. Chu Hao couldn't help but doubt his life. This is too simple, isn't it? Suddenly, Chu Hao's mobile phone vibrated. It was a mobile phone text message. Chu Hao opened it and took a look. Guaxia Commercial Bank, your bank card with the last number 7777 received a cash transfer of 1 trillion.00, and the current balance is 1,439.60 yuan. Chu Hao was a little bit unbelievable and counted it several times. 1 trillion really arrived. Even though he was mentally prepared. But Chu Hao was still shocked when he really received 1 trillion. A full trillion. In just a moment, he has become the new richest Chinese. Even if he eats interest every day, his income exceeds 99.99% of people. He originally thought that the rewards given by the system lottery would not be too good. But now it seems that this can't be better. Since the cash reward has arrived. What about the remaining 2 rewards? A Lamborghini Veneno. A villa. Although compared with the cash reward of 1 trillion, it is just a drop in the bucket. But the value of each reward is also more than 10 million. No matter which one it is. They are goals that ordinary people cannot achieve in their lifetime. This system. Awesome. Forgive Chu Hao for his lack of vocabulary, he can only express his excitement in this way. Especially when he thinks that he can draw like this every day in the future. He can't help but get more excited. Even if the rewards in the future are a little worse. Wait for him to sign in for a few months, or even a few years later. How much wealth will he have? It seems that being rich enough to rival a country is just around the corner. Think about the life he struggled every day before his rebirth. And look at his current assets. TSK. Fuck, which local tyrant is this? Lamborghini Veneno. This is a god car. God cars are parked casually on the side of the road, the big guys are so rich and inhumane. Suddenly there was a noisy noise downstairs. Chu Hao walked to the window and looked down. I saw a black Lamborghini parked on the side of the road. There were people all around. The second reward of the system was also received. And it was delivered directly to the dormitory building. This is really thoughtful. At the same time, Chu Hao felt a sinking in his pocket. Reached out and touched. The car key was already in his pocket. Chu Hao took out the car key and looked at it. It felt a bit like plastic, a bit like metal. It felt cold. It seemed to be just so. Chu Hao thought a little bit about Versailles. But his body was very honest, and he turned around and rushed out of the dormitory. He was even wearing slippers. After a few seconds, Chu Hao went down the dormitory building. After walking a few steps, he saw a group of students surrounding his car. Fuck, this is a Lamborghini Veneno. A luxury car that you can only see in movies. So amazing? This car must be worth millions, right? Millions? You look down on the Lamborghini Veneno too much. This is a super luxury car. It starts at tens of millions. Starting at tens of millions. I wish I could be the girlfriend of this big guy. Are you not awake yet? How can such a big guy like a jerk like you? Who do you think is a jerk? Do you believe I will sue you for defamation? Sue me, who's afraid of who? The students who were watching started to make noise. Chu Hao walked over and squeezed in after a long time. Only then did he realize. There were several girls queuing around his car. These girls were all good looking, and any one of them could be considered a beauty. The beauties were holding their phones and taking selfies. There were not only beauties taking pictures. There were many beauties of similar appearance queuing up behind, obviously wanting to take a photo with this luxury car. If it were any other time, Chu Hao would not bother to argue with these women. It was just that he had just received the car and had not even touched it. Naturally, he did not want to wait for these people to finish taking photos. But just as he walked over, he was stopped by a girl. This girl was very beautiful. She was the best among these people. Their facial features were very delicate, and one glance would give people the feeling of first love. Of course, in addition to her good looks, this girl's figure was even more amazing. She was over 1.7 meters tall, with a real tall and long legs. The two slender thighs were exposed to the public without any cover. As for their headlights, they were even more blinding. Comparable to Chu Hao's Lamborghini Veneno. However, the girl stopped Chu Hao, obviously not to let Chu Hao appreciate her charm. Why are you in such a hurry? If you want to take pictures, go to the back and line up. Don't you see so many people lining up? Accompanied by the girl's words. Everyone who was lining up looked at Chu Hao. When they saw Chu Hao dressed in ordinary clothes and wearing slippers on his feet, there was some contempt in their eyes. Although they didn't say anything. But it seemed that they said everything. Chu Hao was speechless. Good fellow. This is his car. What kind of look is this? He has to look at their faces to get close to his car? Okay. In that case, he won't pretend. Showdown. Chu Hao took out the car key from his pocket and pressed it lightly. Ding ding. The Lamborghini Veneno made a sound and the headlights flashed twice. The scissor doors on both sides slowly rose. The sudden change let everyone around stunned. Including the girls who were taking photos and the girls who stopped Chu Hao. Now, can I pass? Chu Hao smiled, with a playful expression. Chapter 2, Xinyuan's Initiative. After speaking, Chu Hao didn't care about the reactions of the people around him. He simply bypassed the girl and got into the car. Everyone's gaze followed Chu Hao as he moved. Once inside, the scissor doors of the car slowly closed. The crowd was filled with shock and envy, but there was no sign of jealousy. If it had been an ordinary BMW or even a Mercedes, people might have been jealous. After all, they could aspire to work hard and one day afford such a car. But a Lamborghini Veneno, cars like that were beyond their reach. They could only dream of having such a car. Chu Hao felt an unprecedented sense of satisfaction. This was so exhilarating. No wonder everyone wanted to be rich. The envious glances from the crowd were something no one could refuse. Sitting in the driver's seat, Chu Hao started the car. With a press of the accelerator, the Lamborghini Veneno roared like a beast waking from slumber. The people around quickly stepped aside, startled by the sound. After adjusting to the car's performance, Chu Hao was about to drive off when he suddenly noticed the beautiful girl who had just blocked him walking toward him. Chu Hao glanced at her, wondering what was going on. Did she want to say something else? He rolled down the window and looked at her. The beautiful girl had a look of embarrassment on her face. She never expected that Chu Hao was the owner of this car. Thinking back to how she had blocked him earlier, she couldn't help but blush. Standing outside the car, the beautiful girl bent slightly, straightened her back, and wore an apologetic expression. Sorry, handsome. I was wrong earlier. Chu Hao shook his head without a hint of emotion. So, this is your apology? I don't want to argue with you. Just be more careful next time. The girl nodded repeatedly, and it was clear she was relieved. Handsome, don't worry, I promise this will never happen again. She paused before continuing, Handsome, can we add each other on WeChat? At WeChat? Chu Hao raised an eyebrow as he looked at the girl. No wonder she had apologized. She was waiting to ask him for his contact. Considering her looks and figure, Chu Hao would have accepted without a second thought in the past. After all, back then, he had nothing but a good appearance. It was a rare opportunity to have such a beautiful girl actively at him as a friend. But now things were different. Not only had Chu Hao obtained the system, but he had also been reborn. He was much more mature now and wouldn't he lose his composure over something like this. On the other hand, with his current wealth, he could have any woman he wanted. The reason this woman was so proactive was because of the Lamborghini Veneno. If it weren't for the car, she probably wouldn't have cared. Chu Hao looked at the leggy beauty and smiled. Sure. The beauty, feeling victorious, thought that even a wealthy man like Chu Hao was submitting to her charm. Just as she was about to take out her phone, Chu Hao spoke again. However, let us do it next time. I have something to do today. After that, he stepped on the accelerator. The Lamborghini Veneno roared to life and shot forward like a streak of black lightning. The long-legged beauty stood still, watching the taillights of the car disappearing out of sight. She was stunned, but after a brief hesitation, her eyes hardened with determination. Next time. Who knows when that next time will come? Since that was the case, she naturally had to create an opportunity. At the university campus, Chu Hao was driving the Lamborghini Veneno along the main road. This was his first car. Although he had driven cars before, they were just the old Jetta from his driving school and the family's minivan. Now, he owned a super luxury car worth millions, and it was his own exclusive ride. Besides being excited, Chu Hao couldn't bring himself to race or do anything reckless. After all, safety was the top priority. Moreover, speeding was just a secondary feature of the Lamborghini Veneno. On the campus, when the scissor doors of the car opened, no one could ignore it. Even those who didn't recognize a Lamborghini could still be captivated by the car's appearance, drawing countless gazes. However, Chu Hao was still wearing slippers. He figured it was okay to test the car around campus, but if he took it on the road and got caught by the police, that would be another matter. After taking a lap, Chu Hao returned to the dormitory building. He was about to go upstairs to change his shoes when he saw a figure standing by the road. He glanced over and raised an eyebrow. It was the long-legged beauty who had asked for his WeChat earlier. He had driven around the campus for at least half an hour, and the crowd had dispersed by now. Yet, she had left. The beauty was standing alone by the road, under the hot summer sun at noon. Despite holding an umbrella, her delicate face was flushed from the heat. Her clothes were drenched in sweat, and her long legs glistened with perspiration. Chu Hao couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Was she trying to tempt him with her wet appearance? You're still here, he asked as he got out of the car. The beauty quickly walked over with a smile on her face. Handsome, you said next time, so now we can add WeChat, right? Saying that, she took out her phone and looked at Chu Hao with eager eyes. Chu Hao looked at her too. To be honest, he was surprised that she had waited for him for half an hour. It was clear from her posture that if he refused now, she would stay there and continue waiting. All right, you can scan me, Chu Hao said, taking out his phone. After the WeChat request was accepted, he turned and headed for the dormitory. The long-legged beauty, seeing this, hurriedly said, By the way, handsome, my name is Xinyuan. What should I call you? Xinyuan. Chu Hao blinked, feeling like the name sounded familiar. But he didn't think too much about it and casually said, Chu Hao. Xinyuan quickly saved his name and looked up, wanting to say something else. However, she found that Chu Hao had already entered the dormitory building. She stood there, staring at his back, her eyes flickering. She seemed to be lost in thought. A moment later, Shen Mengyao opened her phone again and entered a group chat. Cloud University Group by. Back in the dormitory, Chu Hao quickly changed his shoes and prepared to head downstairs. The 3 rewards from the lottery were already credited, and the car had been driven. There was still 1 reward left to check the villa in Yunduan Xinyuan. He had never seen it before. Since today was the first day of school and he had nothing else to do, he decided to go take a look. Beep beep. Just as he was about to leave, his phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Shen Mengyao, the new WeChat friend. Shen Mengyao, Chu Hao, handsome, are you free now? Chapter 3, Renting a Lamborghini for 2000. Ch Hao, is there something? Shen Mengyao, yes, there's something I need to discuss with you. Shen Mengyao, earlier today, a few of us used your car for a photo shoot, remember? Shen Mengyao, since we didn't get your permission, we discussed it and thought would transfer you 2000 yuan as compensation. Shen Mengyao, do you think this is okay? Compensation? Ch Hao was stunned for a moment, unable to process it at first. They took pictures with his car, and now they want to compensate him. Did these people really have that much awareness? Ch Hao didn't believe it for a second. Ch Hao, just compensation. There was a moment of silence on the other side. Shen Mengyao, actually, there's more to it. Shen Mengyao, your car is a supercar, right? We were thinking of renting it, just to take more pictures, nothing else. Shen Mengyao, don't worry, you can watch the entire time. We promise we'll only take photos. Reading Shen Mengyao's message, Ch Hao shook his head and smiled. No wonder she was being so generous. 2000 yuan was a lot for many people to earn in a month. But 2000 yuan to rent his Lamborghini Veneno? She must be dreaming. Even if he didn't have the 10 trillion yuan in his bank account, renting this car would cost much more than that. Forget it, not interested. After replying to the message, Ch Hao quickly deleted her as a friend. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that Shen Mengyao was a beauty, he wouldn't have bothered adding her as a friend in the first place. He'd already given her a chance, but she couldn't seize it. Really, when you get a chance and mess it up. Meanwhile, with Shen Mengyao. After being rejected, Shen Mengyao didn't give up. She still wanted to try again. After all, it was a Lamborghini Veneno, so she didn't think it was unreasonable to ask. However, after sending another message, all she saw was a red exclamation mark. Shen Mengyao. She widened her eyes in disbelief. She, Shen Mengyao, one of the top 4 campus beauties at Yunduan University, was actually deleted as a friend. Even though the sun was beating down on her, she still felt disoriented. Why was this happening? Was it because she wasn't pretty enough, or had she done something wrong? She was always the one who deleted others, and now, for the first time, someone deleted her? Back in the dormitory. After deleting Shen Mengyao, Ch Hao didn't think too much of it. When he had no money, he might have been cautious. But now, with everything he had, he didn't tolerate things that bothered him. He didn't even remember Shen Mengyao's identity. Even if he did, it wouldn't matter. She was just a campus beauty. There were so many campus beauties around the country, and with his status, finding a stunning woman wasn't difficult. Grabbing his car keys, Ch Hao was ready to leave the dorm. At that moment, 3 figures entered the dormitory. At the center was a man wearing gold-rimmed glasses with dyed blonde hair, Wang Ning, followed by 2 others who acted like bodyguards, flanking him. Wang Ning, Chen Wei, Liu Zhisheng. Ch Hao squinted his eyes. Since this was a university dorm, he naturally had roommates. These 3 were his roommates. The blonde, Wang Ning, was the richest among them. In his past life, these 3 had often bullied Ch Hao. The reason for the bullying was simple: Ch Hao was handsome but poor, honest, and a good student. Wang Ning was a local, with a good family background, and so, the other 2 were his lackeys. For years, they had bullied Ch Hao, from freshman year all the way to graduation. Now, the old grievances surged. Ch Hao's eyes grew colder as he stared at the 3. In the past, he had nothing and had to endure their bullying. But now, things were different. Wang Ning and the others never expected that, in just a morning, Ch Hao had completely changed. They had gotten used to bullying him. Seeing Ch Hao standing in the doorway, they instinctively yelled, "You piece of trash, what are you blocking the way for? Don't you know good dogs don't block the road?" Ch Hao had been planning to deal with them anyway, and their words only made him more determined. "You dare say that again?" Chen Wai looked at Ch Hao as though he were a fool. "I said, good dogs don't." Before he could finish. Slap. With a crisp sound, Ch Hao slapped Chen Wai across the face with a swift and accurate motion. The students from other dorms heard the noise and turned to look. Chen Wai covered his face, stunned. Wang Ning and Liu Zhisheng, though not slapped, had similar expressions. They never expected that the Ch Hao they used to bully would dare strike first. Liu Zhisheng, quick to react, immediately yelled, "Ch Hao, how dare you hit someone?" He stepped forward, ready to fight Ch Hao. Ch Hao glanced at him with indifference. "Are you itching for a fight too?" Liu Zhisheng's face changed, and he instinctively stopped in his tracks. Although he had always been with the other two to bully Ch Hao, deep down, he was a coward who feared strength. In the past, Ch Hao had been weak and honest, so he had no problem bullying him. But now, with Ch Hao showing strength, Liu Zhisheng hesitated. Wang Ning's face darkened. In front of him, one of his lackeys had been slapped, and the other was cowering. If he didn't step in now, how could he face anyone later? He looked at Ch Hao and shouted, "Ch Hao, this is school. You're hitting people like this. Aren't you afraid I'll report you to the counselor?" "Report to the counselor?" Ch Hao laughed. He was already an adult, and Wang Ning was still threatening him with such childish tactics. "Go ahead, tell them. But before you do, none of you are getting away." Ch Hao said this and charged forward, swinging his fists. The three didn't expect him to be so bold. Even though they had threatened to report him, Ch Hao still dared to fight back and even won against three. The students in the hall were stunned. They couldn't believe what they were witnessing. The usually docile Ch Hao was now so fierce. He wasn't just fighting back, he was chasing them down. The fight lasted only a few minutes. Unable to withstand Ch Hao's strength, the three of them ran out of the dormitory building. Ch Hao didn't chase them, instead shouting, "You three better watch out. Every time I see you, I'll beat you up." After letting off some steam, Ch Hao felt extremely satisfied. Having lived two lives, he had finally gotten his revenge. The other students in the hallway saw the fight end and quickly dispersed. They weren't about to mess with someone as ruthless as Ch Hao. Ch Hao didn't care. For him, it was just another victory. Chapter 4, Cloud Edge New Garden Villa. These are just a bunch of kids who haven't even graduated yet. He didn't need to argue with a bunch of kids. However, my body is indeed a bit weak now. I actually let those three guys escape. Chu Hao moved his body and murmured. Although he chased those three, it was only because they only dared to bully the weak. If it really came to a fight, he wouldn't be a match for all three. After gaining wealth, he now had plenty of ways to deal with them. There was no need to care about physical strength. After dealing with those three, Chu Hao didn't waste any time and headed downstairs from the dormitory. The day was almost over, and he still hadn't visited his villa. What he didn't expect was that as soon as he came downstairs, someone blocked his way. Seeing the familiar figure, Chu Hao was somewhat speechless. Shen Mengyao hadn't left yet. Was she still trying to cling to him? "What's up? Do you need something?" Chu Hao's attitude toward Shen Mengyao wasn't good. Including the previous two times, this was already the third time. Shen Mengyao was quite conflicted. She knew it wasn't right to keep pestering him. So her expression was awkward, but she still wasn't ready to give up on Chu Hao. "Actually, it's nothing serious. I just wanted to ask why you deleted me." Shen Mengyao asked. Chu Hao's expression was calm as he looked at her. "What do you think?" Shen Mengyao naturally didn't know, so she guessed, "Is it because I mentioned renting your car?" Chu Hao nodded. "Yeah, it's partly because of that." Shen Mengyao was a bit speechless. She said, "Even if it's because of that, you don't have to delete me, right? 2,000 for renting your car just to take photos isn't a small amount, right?" She admitted Chu Hao's car was expensive, but it was a money-making deal, so why not do it? And yet he deleted her because of this? Chu Hao shook his head. You think I made a profit? Shen Mengyao naturally nodded. Isn't it? Chu Hao smiled and showed her the bank transfer message from earlier. Shen Mengyao was still puzzled, then lowered her head to look at her phone. Look at how much money I have. Shen Mengyao carefully counted and then froze. 12 zeros. 10 trillion. She had never seen so much money before. Even in her wildest dreams, she never imagined this kind of sum. At that moment, Shen Mengyao's mind was buzzing. She wasn't inexperienced, there were many rich second-generation men chasing her. But even those pursuers had assets of just a few million at most. Those with tens of millions were considered super-rich second-generation heirs. For ordinary people, having a billion would secure their life. But 10 trillion? That was beyond Shen Mengyao's comprehension. But now she understood why Chu Hao deleted her when she mentioned the car rental. Although 2,000 seemed a lot to her, to Chu Hao, it was less than the interest he earned in an hour. Now you understand. Chu Hao smiled, putting his phone away. He was about to leave, but when he saw Shen Mengyao still standing there, he suddenly had a thought. Tonight, after heading to the villa, he was definitely staying there. And living alone in such a large villa, he would definitely need someone to warm the bed. And conveniently, here was a ready-made candidate. After all, it was the first day of his rebirth. Why not have some fun? With this thought in mind, Chu Hao looked at Shen Mengyao. Do you really want to take photos with my car? After seeing the balance in Chu Hao's bank account, Shen Mengyao didn't have any more thoughts. But when Chu Hao brought it up, she couldn't help but hesitate. Yes. She honestly nodded. Chu Hao smiled. I definitely want to rent my car to you, but if you want to take photos, that's fine. You can even sit in the passenger seat. But there's one condition. You have to come with me. Hearing this, Shen Mengyao's expression changed. Go? Where? Chu Hao replied, do you know about Cloud Edge New Garden? Shen Mengyao nodded. Cloud Edge New Garden is the largest and most upscale villa project in Yunju. This wasn't being materialistic, it was just that the Cloud Edge New Garden project was too famous. Almost everyone in Yunju knew about it. Good, you know it. Chu Hao nodded. I have a villa there. I'm going to check it out now. If you're willing, you can come with me. When we get there, you can take all the photos you want. I won't stop you. After saying that, Chu Hao looked at Shen Mengyao, waiting for her decision. Shen Mengyao wasn't an innocent girl who didn't understand anything. As soon as she heard this, she knew exactly what Chu Hao was up to. Going to his villa, alone with him, a man and a woman. It was obvious what would happen next. She hesitated. Chu Hao saw this and didn't say much. He headed toward the Lamborghini, ready to leave. Shen Mengyao stood there, conflicted. She looked at Chu Hao's back, struggling to make a decision. On one hand, her body, on the other, the sports car and the villa. There was no way to have both. Chu Hao wouldn't give her the chance to decide otherwise. But Chu Hao's offer was simply too tempting. If she rejected him, many other women would eagerly throw themselves at him. This could be her only chance. If she missed it, she would never get another. No. Not maybe, but definitely. Choosing to reject now would keep her purity, but her life would remain unchanged. With that thought, Shen Mengyao made up her mind. Seeing Chu Hao get into the car, she hurriedly followed him. When Chu Hao started the car and saw this, he smiled. He wasn't surprised by Shen Mengyao's choice. This was the charm of money. Especially for a woman like Shen Mengyao, who had nothing but beauty. Get in the car. Congratulations, you made the right choice in your life. He opened the scissor door and said to Shen Mengyao with a smile. Shen Mengyao bit her lip but didn't refute. Cloud Edge New Garden. This is the largest and most upscale villa project in Yunju. There's no other comparison. Chu Hao drove at full speed. The closer he got to Cloud Edge New Garden, the fewer cars there were around. The positioning of Cloud Edge New Garden spoke for itself. Not to mention the facilities inside, just the Grand Gate was enough to showcase the luxury and prestige of the project. Although Shen Mengyao had heard of Cloud Edge New Garden's fame, she was still shocked when she saw the gate in person. It was so luxurious. If the gate was like this, there was no telling how grand the inside must be. When Chu Hao drove up to the gate, two security guards immediately ran over. Chapter 5, Applauding with Shen Mengyao. Excuse me, sir, may I ask who you're looking for? A security guard asked respectfully. Yunduan Xinyuan was indeed high-end. But this also led to the phenomenon where no one dared to approach the area. The security guards were strict and didn't allow anyone to loiter. However, Chu Hao's car was parked here. So, the two security guards were respectful and didn't dare to act recklessly. Chu Hao glanced at the two security guards and couldn't help but feel a bit regretful. He wondered why he had never encountered any of the dog-like, arrogant characters in novels. But this was quite normal. As the most upscale villa project, Yunduan Xinyuan spared no expense in every aspect, including the quality of the security staff. I am the owner here, Chu Hao. Chu Hao introduced himself proactively. Indeed, the system had rewarded Chu Hao with a villa at Yunduan Xinyuan. But he didn't actually know which one it was. Upon giving his name, the security guards checked the information. Hello, you are the distinguished new owner of Villa Number 1. Here are your keys and access cards, and we've already registered you and your car in the management system. However, for security reasons, could you please show us your ID? Though the guards were very respectful, they still followed standard procedures. In today's age, the probability of impersonation was low. But better safe than sorry. Chu Hao wasn't bothered by this. In fact, he was quite pleased with the guards' responsible attitude. He took out his ID and handed it to the guards. After the guards verified the information, they respectfully returned all the materials and items to Chu Hao. Honorable Mr. Chu, welcome to Villa Number 1 at Yunduan Xinyuan. If you have any questions or need assistance, please feel free to contact us via the internal phone system at any time. With that, the two security guards immediately stepped aside, standing straight and bowing to Chu Hao. Sitting in the front passenger seat, Shen Mengyao had witnessed everything. Although her face remained calm, inside, her thoughts were in turmoil. Although she had already seen Chu Hao's bank account and agreed to his request, she still had some inner doubts. After all, cars could be rented, and the messages could have been fabricated. But now, Chu Hao had proven himself to be the owner of the villa. All her doubts had vanished. As for the possibility of forgery, were they going to fake things with the highest-end property in Yun City? The cost of that wouldn't be much less than buying a villa here. Chu Hao drove the car into the villa area and soon found Villa Number 1. It wasn't because he was familiar with the area, but because Villa Number 1 was in the most prominent location. Moreover, Villa Number 1 was distinctly different from the other villas, standing out like a crane among chickens. The entire villa complex only had 36 villas, and Villa Number 1 was the most special. Chu Hao drove the car into the garage and led Shen Mengyao into the villa. As soon as they entered the villa, Shen Mengyao was shocked by the sight before her. A massive swimming pool. On the other side was an exquisite artificial lake. In the lake were koi of various colors, full of vitality. In the center of the artificial lake was an exceptionally beautiful rockery. The ground was paved with marble paths leading straight to the backyard of the villa. The entire front yard was filled with various exquisite flowers and plants, which clearly had been carefully designed and maintained. Even though Shen Mengyao had already tried to imagine the luxury of Villa Number 1, seeing it in person still made her feel her imagination had fallen short. Chu Hao was also shocked. Though he had lived two lives, he had only seen such luxurious villas in various videos. And even in those videos, they didn't compare to the scene before him. Besides, seeing it in a video was nothing like experiencing the shock firsthand. If not for the system, even with his 2 lifetimes of experience, he probably wouldn't have been qualified to be here. He quickly snapped out of it. How is it? Isn't it better for photos here than at school? Chu Hao walked up behind Shen Mengyao, wrapped his arms around her slender waist, and asked with a smile. Chu Hao's body temperature and the warmth of his breath made Shen Mengyao's face turn bright red. She blushed and whispered like a mosquito, millimeter. Chu Hao chuckled inwardly, his hands beginning to climb higher. Shen Mengyao didn't expect things to progress so quickly. But she didn't resist. From the moment she got into the car, everything had already been set in motion. Now, it was just turning her imagination into reality. Let us go, let us take a look at the bedroom. Chu Hao carried Shen Mengyao. And they walked toward the bedroom like conjoined twins. It wasn't long before a muffled groan came from the bedroom. And a round of applause followed. An hour later, Chu Hao lay contentedly on the bed. After his rebirth, everything felt so wonderful. Shen Mengyao was beside him, gently wiping away the traces with a wet tissue. Chu Hao reached out and stroked Shen Mengyao's hair. And seeing her expression, a smile appeared on his lips. Having money is truly great. In his past life, even with his looks, Shen Mengyao would have barely given him a glance. And probably wouldn't he have looked again. But now, Shen Mengyao was completely obedient to him, even voluntarily cleaning up everything. What was even more important was that Shen Mengyao would be the first, but definitely not the last. With the system and his current wealth, he could have all kinds of women. Chu Hao's gaze suddenly stopped on the bedsheet. The dark red bloodstain was very conspicuous. This. He looked at Shen Mengyao and asked, "Is this your first time?" Shen Mengyao, who was cleaning up, turned red upon hearing Chu Hao's question. But she nodded. Millimeter. Chu Hao looked at her with a slightly strange expression. His gaze towards Shen Mengyao also changed. He had to admit, Shen Mengyao surprised him. Before this, he had never thought about such a possibility. Mainly because Shen Mengyao's behavior had given him the wrong impression. After all, how could a gold-digging woman possibly stay pure? Originally, Chu Hao had only intended to relax a little. But now, his thoughts had changed. Shen Mengyao was indeed materialistic. And she had proactively flattered him because of the poison issue. But that didn't mean she was a promiscuous woman. At least, not before this. You're quite something. Chu Hao was very satisfied. He took out his phone and transferred 1 million to Shen Mengyao. When Shen Mengyao heard the phone's notification sound, she didn't think much of it. She opened it. But the next moment, her eyes widened. 1 million. Chu Hao, what is this for? Shen Mengyao stared at Chu Hao with her beautiful big eyes. Chapter 6, Lucky Draw, Qiannan Square. Shen Mengyao never expected it to unfold like this. Don't worry, you deserve it. As long as you are obedient in the future, you will definitely get more. Chu Hao pinched Shen Mengyao's delicate and smooth face and said with a smile. After all, he now has 1 trillion in his bank card. This 1 million is just a drop in the bucket for him. To Chu Hao, supporting Shen Mengyao is nothing. Don't worry, husband. I will be obedient in the future. Shen Mengyao smiled and put down her phone. Lie obediently in Chu Hao's arms. This scene. This made Chu Hao's favorability towards Shen Mengyao increase a little bit. She is beautiful, sensible and obedient. Although it is a bit materialistic. But this is for Chu Hao. On the contrary, it is an advantage. If it weren't for materialism, it was impossible for him to take down Shen Mengyao so quickly. Come to think of it, you are so beautiful, there should be a lot of people chasing you, right? Played with it for a while. Chu Hao suddenly asked. Shen Mengyao was lying in Chu Hao's arms. After hearing this, she nodded, yes, there are indeed some. Chu Hao asked doubtfully, since someone is pursuing you, then you don't like anyone. Shen Mengyao was silent for a moment and chose to answer honestly. Actually, I talked about one. Chu Hao raised his eyebrows. It's just that we broke up very quickly. We just held hands. Shen Mengyao hurriedly explained, fearing that Chu Hao would misunderstand. She was also feeling lucky. Fortunately, we broke up quickly and I persisted. Otherwise, how could we have the good things we have now? Nothing else to say. She definitely won't be able to get this 1 million. However, Chu Hao continued with this topic. So, you have an ex-boyfriend. What does he do? Shen Mengyao said, it's from our school. Chu Hao smiled and said, are you still an alumnus? If there is a chance in the future, we can get to know each other. He lowered his head and looked at Shen Mengyao's rosy and delicate little mouth. The battle had just ended. But now he had energy again. He reached out and pressed Shen Mengyao's head. Shen Mengyao looked up at Chu Hao, her face full of confusion. Chu Hao suddenly exerted force and pressed Shen Mengyao's head down. No words were spoken that night. Early the next morning, when you open your eyes, Chu Hao felt sore all over. He looked at Shen Mengyao, who was still sleeping in his arms. Thinking back to what happened last night, I couldn't help but smile. Next time, don't play like this. Just this once. Chu Hao couldn't help rubbing his waist. They hardly slept last night. I didn't fall asleep until dawn. From 6 or 7 o'clock last night until 5 in the morning. You can imagine how crazy they both are. That is, he is still young. Otherwise, he would be the same age as in his previous life. I'm afraid something is going to happen. Oh, my lucky draw. Chu Hao suddenly remembered the system. Without any hesitation, he immediately asked the system to draw the lottery. Congratulations to their host for winning Yunju Qiannan Square. Qiannan Square. Chu Hao widened his eyes and couldn't help but say the national quintessence in his heart. Qiannan Plaza is the largest and most prosperous shopping mall in Yunju. No doubt about it. When we first invested, we invested a huge amount of money. Regardless of the area or building size. They are all the largest in Yunju. Plus, it was just recently completed. Therefore, this is the hottest time. Regardless of geographical location or traffic flow. They are all the best in Yunju. Basically all the international brands that can be named. They all have branches in Yunju Qiannan Plaza. Whether it is the previous life or this life. He often goes there shopping. But that was real shopping. Because many things are simply unaffordable. But now it's different. The entire Qiannan Square belongs to him. Isn't it up to him to buy whatever he wants? When Chu Hao's lottery was over, Shen Mengyao also woke up slowly. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw Chu Hao's smiling face. Shen Mengyao immediately came up to him. "Hubby, what's wrong? Why are you smiling so happily?" Chu Hao smiled and said, "Of course it's a good thing." "Good things? What good things?" Shen Mengyao's face was full of confusion. Chu Hao shook his head. "I can't say, but you will know it later." Although Shen Mengyao was confused, she was sensible and did not ask any more questions. "Okay, get up when you wake up. Don't you want to take pictures? After that, let's go shopping." Chu Hao patted Shen Mengyao on the head. When she heard that they were going shopping, Shen Mengyao's eyes lit up immediately. She nodded obediently and ran to the bathroom to wash up. More than half an hour later. Downstairs of the villa. Chu Hao sat on a chair in the yard. Shen Mengyao took out her cell phone and took photos everywhere. Various photos and videos were stored in Shen Mengyao's mobile phone. Until the memory is full. Shen Mengyao stopped with a feeling of unfulfilled desire. Seeing this, Chu Hao asked, "Are you done filming?" Shen Mengyao nodded. "Well, actually there are still many places I want to take pictures of, but the memory of my phone is full." As she spoke, she sighed. Full of regret. This was her first time to come to such a nice place. Whether it's a villa or a Lamborghini Veneno. All worth saving in memory. Chu Hao smiled when he heard this. That's easy. When the memory is full, just buy another phone. There are many mobile phone stores in Qiannan Plaza. There are various brands. I'll buy one later. Well, thank you, husband. Shen Mengyao smiled sweetly. The two entered the garage and the roar of poison was heard. The other side. Qiannan Square. In the high-level conference room. All the senior executives of Qiannan Plaza gathered together. What? The boss changed. When did this happen? How come I didn't know about it? This is Qiannan Plaza. The boss has invested so much, how can he bear to sell it? After learning that Qiannan Plaza had changed hands, all management found it difficult to adapt. After all, since the opening, everything in Qiannan Plaza is running smoothly. It can be said that he makes a fortune every day. They could not think of any reason to sell Qiannan Plaza. Another aspect is the speed of changing ownership. Everything was normal until I got off work yesterday. The result was one night. Qiannan Plaza changed hands. At the top of the conference table, General Manager Shen Qianyi coughed twice. The entire conference room suddenly fell silent. All management's eyes were on Shen Qianyi. Shen Qianyi looked at everyone and said, "I know you all find it hard to accept this. I was actually quite surprised as well. But there's nothing we can do about it. This is the truth. As for why we were able to change hands so quickly, it's actually very simple. Because the new owner offered a price the owner couldn't refuse. Many senior executives looked surprised. But then came shock. The value of Qiannan Plaza is obvious. The original purchase price is already an astronomical figure. Not to mention that the new owner offered a price that the boss couldn't refuse. Chapter 7: Shinqiani's Respect. What kind of sky-high price is this that even the owner of Qiannan Plaza cannot refuse? Shinqiani saw everyone's reactions. He continued, "Okay, do you understand now? It's 10:50 now. According to the information I just received, the boss will be here soon. I don't care what you think in your mind, get ready now. I'll give you 10 minutes. I hope you all will follow me out to greet the new boss. Pay attention, since the new boss was able to take over Qiannan Plaza, his strength is self-evident. I don't want any of you to do anything that would displease the new boss." When Shinqiani finished speaking, his expression became very serious. All the management present also had solemn expressions. They also understand this principle very well. Although they are all the management of Qiannan Plaza. In the eyes of outsiders, he is already a big shot. But after all, he is still a wage earner. If the new boss is dissatisfied in any way, they all face the possibility of being fired. The parking lot at Qiannan Plaza. Chu Hao parked the Lamborghini Veneno and got out of the car with Shen Mengyao. The two of them walked in from entrance number 1 of Qiannan Plaza together. Shen Mengyao walked beside Chu Hao, looking like a little bird. He took Chu Hao's arm. Their headlights even clamped Chu Hao's arm. If this scene fell into the eyes of others, I'm sure you would think these two are a couple who have been in love for a long time and have a very good relationship. But I never thought of it. From the first time they met till now. It's been less than 24 hours. Entrance number 1. Shinqiani and a group of management stood in a row, all standing straight and honestly. A manager looked around and whispered to Shinqiani, "Boss Shin, it's been more than half an hour. Is the new boss not coming?" Shinqian listened and glanced at the time. It's past 12:30. From the beginning of the meeting till now. It's been more than 40 minutes. Not really. This is what the boss said himself. Maybe there was a traffic jam on the road. Shinqiani frowned. He looked around, thought about it, and said, "I'll call and ask." He said, pulling out his cell phone. After finding his new boss's phone number, he called him. A few seconds later. The call is connected. "Hello, is this Mr. Chu? I'm the general manager of Qiannan Plaza, Shinqiani." Shinqiani spoke in a very respectful tone and introduced himself as soon as he came up. "Yes, I'm Chu Hao." The tone on the other end of the phone was much more casual. Shinqiani did not dare to neglect it at all. "Mr. Chu, are you in any trouble? If so, please tell me and I will find a way to help you solve it immediately." "No, I'm already here." Shinqian was stunned for a moment. "Are we there yet? Look up and look ahead." A voice came from the phone. Shinqiani quickly raised his head and looked forward. In front of him, Chu Haojing and Shen Mengyao were walking over arm in arm. After noticing Shinqiani's gaze, Chu Hao hung up the phone. Shinqian was stunned for a moment, then hurried over. Seeing Shinqiani's actions, the waiting managers immediately followed. Shen Mengyao didn't realize what was happening at this time. When she saw Shinqiani and his group coming towards them, she subconsciously wanted to pull Chu Hao away. After all, looking at these people in suits and ties, they look like big shots. But the next moment. But she was stunned. This group of big shots in suits and leather shoes actually ran up to Chu Hao in unison. Shinqiani, the leader, smiled respectfully. "Mr. Chu, I finally meet you." Shen Mengyao blinked, somewhat unresponsive. "Mr. Chu? Are these people here to find Chu Hao?" Behind Shinqiani, a group of managers also confirmed Chu Hao's identity. Countless eyes secretly fell on Chu Hao. They didn't expect that the new boss would be so young. "Shinqiani, Mr. Shin." Chu Hao's tone was casual and calm. If he was facing such a big shot before, he would definitely not do this. But now, Qiannan Plaza has become his property. Shinqiani was just an employee under him. How could he be polite to himself about his weight loss? Shinqiani nodded quickly. "Yes, Mr. Chu, I am Shinqiani." Chu Hao nodded and said calmly, Boss Shen, are you clear about the change of ownership of Tiannan Plaza? Shen Qianyi nodded again, yes, it is clear. On behalf of all the employees of Tiannan Plaza, I welcome Mr. Chu. These people behind me are the management of Tiannan Plaza. Are you going to inspect the work now? Listening to Shen Qianyi's words, Chu Hao's eyes swept over the group of people behind him. Every time Chu Hao saw someone, that person will smile respectfully. After all, Chu Hao is their boss. Although Chu Hao is very young, they still dare not be negligent in the slightest. Chu Hao scanned the room and didn't miss anyone. He shook his head, there is no need to inspect the work. The current achievements of Tiannan Square are enough to prove your ability. Shen Qianyi smiled immediately, it is our honor to be recognized by Mr. Chu. Chu Hao continued, we've already met, if there's nothing else, let's just go. I'm taking my girlfriend in for a walk. Is there anything like a membership card? Please get it for me. Girlfriend. Shen Qianyi then looked at Shen Mengyao beside Chu Hao. He is also a man who has seen countless beauties. Even so, Shen Mengyao is still an absolutely top beauty. No wonder she could become the boss girlfriend. Shen Qianyi couldn't help thinking in his heart. He looked at Shen Mengyao and said with a smile, that's easy, what's your name, miss? Shen Mengyao was still in a daze, and only came back to her senses when she heard Shen Qianyi's question. Oh, my last name is Shen. The smile on Shen Qianyi's face suddenly became brighter. So it's still our family. Please wait a moment, Miss Shen. I'll have someone do it right away. He looked behind him at a manager. The management understood what was meant and quickly ran into the square. Shen Qianyi withdrew his gaze and looked at Chu Hao. Boss, someone has already processed the membership card. If you don't mind, you can go shopping first and someone will deliver the membership card to you later. Okay, I'll just walk around first. Chu Hao waved his hand and took Shen Mengyao into the square. Shen Qianyi and a group of management were still standing there. I waited until the two figures disappeared in the square before I breathed a sigh of relief. One executive couldn't help but sigh, I never thought the boss is so young. Although the others didn't say anything, they nodded. Shen Qianyi also agreed, yeah, I didn't expect that either. You are so young and you can become the boss of Tiannan. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. After saying that, he paused. Chapter 8, A Call from the Chancellor. By the way, don't forget to inform the boss about this. Everyone, please cheer up and don't let me down. This is the new boss's first time at the square. If anything goes wrong, you all just wait for him. Inside Tiannan Square. Just when Shen Qianyi was making arrangements, Chu Hao had already taken Shen Mengyao towards the mobile phone store in the square. When I was in the villa before, he talked about this matter. Just buy a cell phone first. Shen Mengyao still held Chu Hao's arm. Their headlights kept scratching. But at this moment, her mind was not on this aspect at all. She was still thinking about what had just happened. Husband, you are actually the boss of Tiannan. She still couldn't believe it. Before this, she thought Chu Hao was just a simple rich second generation. Have money, a car and a house. The result now looks like Chu Hao's identity is even more complicated. Chu Hao smiled and asked, why? Is there any problem with this? Shen Mengyao quickly shook her head, no, I was just a little scared. This is Tiannan Square. We have all discussed privately what kind of big shot the owner of this square is. I didn't expect it to be you. Chu Hao smiled and said, that's nothing. You'll see more when you spend more time with me. Husband, do you have other businesses? Shen Mengyao was startled. Chu Hao just smiled and didn't explain. He certainly doesn't now. But there is a lottery system. The future is uncertain. Shen Mengyao had no idea what to say at this point. Tiannan Square in the eyes of ordinary people like her. It's already a behemoth. You can listen to what Chu Hao means. This is only part of Chu Hao's industry. How terrifying is Chu Hao's entire wealth? Thinking of this, Shen Mengyao suddenly started to feel nervous. With Chu Hao's excellence. I've only just been with her now. There is also a sense of freshness. What can I do next? If Chu Hao gets tired of her, will he abandon her? Shen Mengyao knew it very well. For Chu Hao, her only attractiveness was her beauty. No matter how beautiful a woman is, there will come a day when you get tired of her. In the past, the emperor had 3 palaces, 6 courtyards, and 72 concubines. No concubine would always be favored by the emperor. Honey, can I ask you for a favor? Shen Mengyao suddenly looked at Chu Hao. Chu Hao asked, "What's the matter?" Shen Mengyao said pitifully, "Husband, no matter how many women you have in the future, can you please not abandon me? I just want to be with you, my husband, forever. Even if you don't have time to accompany me, it doesn't matter." Shen Mengyao's change made Chu Hao stunned for a moment. The two of them just met yesterday. Is Shen Mengyao already thinking about such a distant thing now? But looking at Shen Mengyao's appearance, Chu Hao couldn't help but feel a strange feeling in his heart. Is this the so-called sense of conquest? The once proud goddess now begs for mercy from him. It's really wonderful. Chu Hao reached out, pinched Shen Mengyao's face, and laughed. You think too much. As long as you are obedient and let me like you, how could I abandon you? Isn't there a hotel next door? Let's go shopping first, and I'll take you there after we're done. After getting Chu Hao's assurance, Shen Mengyao finally felt a little relieved. As for going to their hotel, Shen Mengyao didn't care at all. As long as Chu Hao is satisfied. No matter what Chu Hao said, she would do it. Some shopping. It was several hours later. After entering the hotel room, Shen Mengyao's face was full of shyness. Honey, I'm going to take a shower first. After saying that, she walked into the bathroom. However, Chu Hao followed closely behind. It's inconvenient for you to wash it yourself, let me help you. Chu Hao was indeed very attentive in helping. It took me more than an hour to take a shower. Shen Mengyao was extremely tired. After having a quick lunch in the hotel, Chu Hao took Shen Mengyao back to school. Yunju University. Chu Hao's Lamborghini Veneno still attracted countless eyes. However, Chu Hao was already accustomed to these looks and did not care. He drove Shen Mengyao to the dormitory building. Shen Mengyao was a little reluctant and said, "Hubby, I'm going back first." Chu Hao smiled and nodded, "Go back and have a good rest. One night and one morning of trouble. Shen Mengyao is exhausted. Okay, you should have a good rest too." Shen Mengyao nodded obediently, not forgetting to care about Chu Hao. "Hubby, don't forget to look for me." Chu Hao nodded. Shen Mengyao finally felt relieved, picked up the things she bought, and turned to walk towards the dormitory. Many students around saw this scene. Beautiful women always attract attention. Not to mention that she was a beautiful woman who had just stepped out of a luxury car like the Lamborghini Veneno. Ha! This beauty looks familiar. Nonsense, she is Shen Mengyao, how can she not look familiar? This. Didn't Miss Shen say that she doesn't date in college? That's all bullshit. Look at that car, it's a Lamborghini Veneno. That's true, those who like school beauties have no chance at all. Countless people were talking about it. After Shen Mengyao went upstairs, Chu Hao drove to his dormitory building. He parked his car casually downstairs and walked into the dormitory. In the dormitory, Wang Ning and the other two were all there. After being beaten yesterday. Although there were no visible injuries on his body. But they were still somewhat afraid of Chu Hao in their hearts. See Chu Hao again. The three of them couldn't help but change their expression. Facing the gazes of the three people, Chu Hao sneered, "What are you looking at? Do you still want to get beaten?" The three of them were startled and quickly looked away. Wang Ning said sternly, "Chu Hao, we are all roommates in the same dormitory, don't go too far. Otherwise we won't be polite." Chu Hao snorted coldly. "Roommates? Now that you remember we were roommates. Why didn't you think about this when you bullied me before?" Wang Ning was suddenly speechless. Liu Jiaqing hid aside, quietly typing something on his mobile phone. Chu Hao took a glance. "What are you doing?" Liu Jiaqing was startled and quickly shook his head. "No, nothing." Chu Hao raised his eyebrows. "Nothing? Bring it here so I can see it." As he said that, he walked towards Liu Jiaqing. Liu Jiaqing's face suddenly became flustered. Chu Hao took a look and became more certain. This guy is definitely plotting something. Chu Hao was just about to grab it. His cell phone suddenly rang. Ding ling ling. Chu Hao raised his eyebrows and let Liu Jiaqing go for the time being. He took out his cell phone and saw the incoming call. Xu Wanwan. Xinyuan is his counselor. School just started yesterday. As for the start of classes, that will be tomorrow. Why call him now? Moreover, he is just an ordinary and inconspicuous student in school. Chapter 9. Xinyuan's suspicion. Chu Hao really couldn't think of the reason why Xinyuan called him. After a while of thought, Chu Hao suddenly looked at Liu Jiaqin. When he looked at Liu Jiaqin quickly lowered his head, not daring to look at Chu Hao. This guy was just being sneaky. It seems that this matter has something to do with him. But Chu Hao was too lazy to pay attention to him now. He picked up the phone. Hello, counselor, I'm Chu Hao. Yes, it's me. Student Chu Hao, I heard that you bullied your classmates. Please come over now. Bullying classmates? Teacher Shu, are you mistaken? Come over here first, we'll talk after you come over. Xinyuan didn't give Chu Hao a chance to explain and hung up the phone directly. Putting down his phone, Chu Hao looked at Liu Jiaqin. Xinyuan said that I bullied my classmates. You were the one who reported me, right? No, it's not me, don't talk nonsense, I didn't. Liu Jiaqin quickly denied it 3 times. But his expression completely betrayed him. And to deny it 3 times is tantamount to admitting it. Chu Hao sneered, really? It would be better this way. I'm going to Xinyuan's place now. If I find out who reported me, don't blame me for being rude. Chu Hao glanced at Liu Jiaqin and turned away. Liu Jiaqin turned pale with fright. After Chu Hao left, he quickly looked at Wang Ning. Brother Ning, what should I do? I'm afraid he will cause trouble for me again. Wang Ning glanced at Liu Jiaqin and suppressed the panic in his heart. What are you afraid of? He's just a student. Just wait, I have plenty of ways to deal with him. After leaving the dormitory, Chu Hao drove to the teaching building. As expected, the Lamborghini Veneno once again attracted countless attention. Although it was really fun at the beginning. But after getting used to it, Chu Hao also noticed the trouble this car brought him. Because it's too high profile. If I have a chance, I'll have to change the car. This car is too high profile. Chu Hao thought in his heart. It's probably hopeless to expect the system to give him a low-key car in a lottery. There were several draws and the rewards were so good. This is actually a kind of distress. Among several rewards, this car is actually the most ordinary one. The other rewards are basically over 100 million. Instead of relying on the system, it would be better for him to buy one himself. Chu Hao made a decision in his mind and planned to go to the Fourth Sun's store when he had time. Entering the office building, Chu Hao quickly arrived at Xinyuan's office. Teacher Shu, you're looking for me. Chu Hao walked into the office, took a quick look, and found Xinyuan. And beside Xinyuan, there was a familiar figure. Chu Bingyang. Chu Hao is the monitor of his class and also the recognized beauty in the class. Chu Hao looked at Chu Bingyang, and the memories of his past life began to resurface. She is beautiful and has musical attainments. So after Chu Bingyang graduated, she entered the entertainment industry. But she overestimated herself. I also underestimated the muddiness of the entertainment industry. In addition to the beginning, she also shared her new songs on WeChat Moments. There was no news after that. This was the last time Chu Hao heard from Chu Bingyang. It's Chu Bingyang getting married. Seeing Chu Bingyang again at this time, Chu Hao's eyes swept over Chu Bingyang. A white shirt and a grey pleated skirt, with 2 long, snow-white legs underneath. On his feet is a pair of white sneakers. Standard youth student outfit. Although Chu Bingyang was not very famous after entering the entertainment industry. But it has to be said, Chu Bingyang must be very good looking. But the only disadvantage may be the height. Chu Bingyang is only a little over 1.6 meters tall. But it matches the clothes I'm wearing now. It is full of youthful atmosphere. Okay, come in. Xinyuan looked towards the door and nodded at Chu Hao. Chu Hao walked to the desk. Class monitor, long time no see. Chu Hao greeted Chu Bingyang. Because school has just started. Chu Bingyang thought Chu Hao was talking about vacation. She smiled and said, "Don't call me that. He's just a small squad leader." Chu Hao smiled. No matter what, he is still the class monitor. Chu Bingyang looked at Chu Hao. Just missing a holiday. But the feeling Chu Hao gave her was completely different. It's like they are two completely different people. Xu Wanwan didn't care about this. She looked at Chu Hao and said, Chu Hao, you also know why I asked you to come here. Do you have anything to say about you bullying your classmates? Chu Hao looked at Xu Wanwan, there's nothing to say. Teacher Xu should know it clearly. Xu Wanwan frowned, what do you mean? Are you saying there is something hidden? Chu Hao did not explain, but just said, Teacher Xu, the ones who reported me should be Wang Ning and others, right? Xu Wanwan did not admit it, but did not deny it either. Chu Hao understood. He smiled and said, you don't know the relationship between me and them, but my classmates should know it very well. They have been bullying me over the past few years. I haven't seen you ask about these things. Xu Wanwan looked at Chu Bingyang. Bingyang, is what Chu Hao said true? Chu Bingyang thought about it and said honestly, Wang Ning and the other three are indeed not very friendly to Chu Hao. She was still a little too conservative. And it's in class after all. Wang Ning and the others didn't dare to go too far. This kind of thing. Everyone in the class knows it very well. Xu Wanwan frowned and fell into deep thought. If that's the case, then there may indeed be some hidden story. It is not even ruled out that they were the evil ones who filed the complaint first. Humph, what a bunch of rats. Xu Wanwan was very angry. They were very dissatisfied with Wang Ning and the other two. She looked at Chu Hao again with a serious expression. Don't worry, Chu Hao. I will definitely investigate this matter thoroughly. However, Chu Hao shook his head, forget it, I appreciate Mr. Xu's kindness. Xu Wanwan didn't quite understand. Why? Chu Hao smiled. They bullied me before because I was too honest and didn't dare to resist. But starting today, even if we give them the courage, they won't dare to do it. After hearing this, Xu Wanwan and Chu Bingyang were both stunned. Chu Bingyang was even more worried and asked, Chu Hao, please don't do anything rash. These days, there are many news reports about students who were excluded and bullied and behaved recklessly because of their loss of control. She was afraid that Chu Hao would follow the same path. Xu Wanwan was also worried. However, Chu Hao just smiled. Don't worry, I just don't want them to bully me. He has everything he wants now. The future life will be even brighter and full of beauty. It is naturally impossible to do anything stupid. And it's just Wang Ning and these three idiots. It's not worth it at all. That's good. If there is anything in the future, you must tell me in time. Xu Wanwan breathed a sigh of relief. Chu Hao's words just now really made her think of some bad possibilities. But now it seems that Chu Hao is still very calm. Chapter 10, Sending the Class Beauty Home. Xu Wanwan was still a little worried and gave a few more instructions. In the end, Chu Hao had no choice but to make reassurances again and again. Only then did Xu Wanwan let Chu Hao leave. Chu Hao and Chu Bingyang walked out of the office together. Walking beside Chu Hao, Chu Bingyang couldn't help but look at Chu Hao with her beautiful eyes. Big class beauty, why are you looking at me like that? Could it be that you have fallen in love with me? Chu Hao teased Chu Bingyang. Puff. Chu Bingyang couldn't help laughing out loud, her face turning a little red. I like you? Why have you become so narcissistic? Chu Hao smiled and shook his head. Narcissism. I'm so handsome, can that be called narcissism? Chu Bingyang did not refute. Chu Hao is indeed the most handsome in their class. But she wouldn't admit it. So according to what you said, you really think you are handsome? Yeah, class beauty, is it possible that your taste for beauty is different from that of ordinary people? Well, I have to say, you have indeed changed. A smile appeared on Chu Bingyang's face. Chu Hao also smiled and didn't care. Chu Bingyang suddenly talked about what happened before. Chu Hao, Wang Ning and the other two are suing you, what are you going to do? Chu Hao spoke casually, and it seemed that he didn't take it to heart at all. What to do? Just give him another beating. Still dishonest. Chu Bingyang curled her lips, don't brag, there are three of us. If a fight really breaks out, you'll definitely be the one who suffers. Chu Hao smiled, full of confidence, I'll suffer a loss. Not necessarily. Chu Bingyang just didn't know what happened yesterday. Otherwise there wouldn't be such worries at all. In her heart, Chu Hao is still the silent and bullied person. Therefore, she must be on Chu Hao's side. Chu Hao didn't want to continue dwelling on this matter, so he changed the subject. I came here because I was reported. What are you doing here? As the class monitor, Chu Bingyang might have come here because of something happening in the class. However, Chu Bingyan's words denied Chu Hao's guess. No, it's about the new students. The school has issued a notice asking us old students to send 2 people from each class to guide the new students during the military training. Teacher Shu asked me to come over. Chu Bingyang explained. Chu Hao raised his eyebrows, somewhat puzzled. 2 people. Who else besides you? Chenan. Chenan. Hearing this name, Chu Hao remembered some things. Chenan is the student committee member of their class and also the secretary of the youth league branch. Naturally, he is an absolute celebrity. He is handsome, second only to Chu Hao. Moreover, his family is very well off and is in business. Now I remember, it was indeed this guy. After being reminded of this, Chu Hao also remembered this matter. It's also because of this incident. Chenan and Chu Bingyang often stayed together during that period. As a result, there was a scandal between the 2 of them in the school. However, Chu Hao did not pay attention to this matter at that time. And after this period of time, the 2 of them appeared together much less frequently. Soon, the 2 people went downstairs. Chu Hao suddenly asked, "Where are you going next, class beauty?" "Back to the dormitory." Chu Bingyang shook her head. "No, I'm going home these 2 days, and I won't check the dormitory anyway." Different from Chu Hao. Chu Bingyan's family is well off and her home is near the university. Go back? How are you going to go back? Chu Hao smiled and said, "I have nothing to do, why don't I take you there?" Not many people in the class know that he is rich yet. Chu Hao had no intention of hiding it. He wants to keep a low profile. Instead of pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. And he was showing off in front of Chu Bingyang, a familiar class beauty. Double the pleasure. Drive. Chu Bingyang was stunned for a moment, somewhat surprised. She remembered that Chu Hao's family conditions were very ordinary. "Did you buy a car?" Chu Hao nodded. Chu Bingyang's face was suddenly filled with curiosity. "I didn't expect you to buy a car. You bought a car in your senior year. You are a winner in life. I haven't even gotten my driver's license yet." Speaking of this, Chu Bingyang was speechless. Her journey to get a driver's license was really bumpy. Chu Hao didn't care. He smiled and comforted her. "It's easy to get a driver's license. If you put a little effort in, you will definitely be able to learn it." Chu Bingyang curled her lips. "You already have a driver's license, so you must think it's easy. But I'm different. I'm a complete novice. I've taken the second test 3 times. 5 chances in total. If you can't get through again." Subject 2. Chu Hao was speechless. But for those pure beginners, Subject 2 is indeed a bit difficult. When he took the exam, "I almost failed the second subject." "Don't you still have 2 chances? Keep a good attitude, you can definitely do it." Chu Hao still comforted her. Chu Mengyao didn't really care, but asked, "What car did you buy? A domestic one? Or a joint venture car?" Chu Hao smiled and shook his head, with a mysterious look on his face. "Guess again." "Neither? Could it be a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz?" Chu Bingyang was a little confused. The options she just mentioned basically cover all the cars that college students can buy. BMW and Mercedes-Benz are a bit beyond the scope. If a college student can afford a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz, it means he has good luck. Or maybe his family is very rich. However, Chu Hao still shook his head. Chu Bingyang really couldn't guess this time. She didn't dare to guess any further. "Forget it, don't guess anymore, just come and take a look." Chu Hao didn't continue to embarrass Chu Bingyang. He brought Chu Bingyang to the parking lot and walked towards the Lamborghini Veneno. As soon as Chu Bingyang entered the parking lot, he saw the Lamborghini Veneno at a glance. After all, among a group of ordinary family cars, Lamborghini's black invisible car cover and streamlined body are really too eye-catching. "Wow! What a cool sports car! Chu Hao, look at it." Chu Bingyang was quite excited and pulled Chu Hao's arm. Chu Hao looked at Chu Bingyang and suddenly smiled evilly. "What's the point of being handsome? Isn't it still a car?" Chu Bingyang shook her head and said seriously, "Cars are different from each other." Chu Hao humbly asked for advice. "Oh, why are they different?" Chu Bingyang explained science to Chu Hao seriously. This is the most basic difference. Luxury cars run fast. Chu Hao laughed and retorted, what's the use of being fast? He can't fly through the traffic jam. Chu Bingyang was a little annoyed. How can you be so argumentative? You are just saying the grapes are sour because you can't eat them. Once you can drive this car, you will know what's good about it. Really? I don't believe it. Chu Hao smiled and said, because this car is mine. Chu Bingyang was stunned for a moment. Yours? She looked at Chu Hao and couldn't help laughing. If this car is really yours, you can ask me to do anything. Really? What about letting you be my girlfriend? Really? Forget about being your girlfriend, I'll even call you Dad. Chapter 11 Class Beauty Calls Dad. Chu Bingyang really didn't think that this car belonged to Chu Hao. In her eyes, it's already amazing that Chu Hao can buy a Mercedes-Benz or BMW. Such a luxury car. She didn't even dare to think about it. Not to mention Chu Hao. However, what surprised Chu Bingyang was that Chu Hao took out a pair of car keys from his pocket the next moment. Just a tap. The Lamborghini Veneno in front of them lit up its lights and the scissor doors slowly rose. This. Chu Bingyang was dumbfounded. This was a development that she could not understand at all. How is it? Class beauty. Chu Hao looked at Chu Bingyang with a smile. Chu Bingyang came back to her senses and stared at Chu Hao. Is this car really yours? Chu Hao shook the car keys. How can this be fake? The car keys are here. Chu Bingyang still found it a little bit unbelievable. She walked over and circled the Lamborghini Veneno a few times. He even reached out and pinched his arm. Of course, it's her own. Only then did I confirm that I was not dreaming. Chu Hao watched all this with a smile. After Chu Bingyang calmed down, then he teased, what did you say just now? Chu Bingyang was stunned for a moment, then suddenly realized what was happening and her face turned red. The reason why she dared to say that just now was because she felt that Chu Hao was joking with her. Turns out she was the joke. Okay, stop standing there, get in the car, I'll take you home. Chu Hao didn't pursue him relentlessly. After getting in the car, he waved to Chu Bingyang. Chu Bingyang was still a little embarrassed and her face was still red. But even though Chu Hao said so, she still got in the car. As the scissor door falls, the Lamborghini Veneno roared and disappeared on the spot. Tianyu Community. Chu Hao parked the car outside the community gate. The class beauty is here. Chu Hao looked at Chu Bingyang. Chu Bingyang sat in the passenger seat, still a little dazed. Everything that I just experienced was like a dream. Chu Hao really has a supercar. She was still sitting in this sports car and was sent back by Chu Hao. What? You don't want to get off the car? Are you really in love with me? Chu Hao teased with a smile. Chu Bingyang finally reacted. She blushed and unbuckled her seatbelt, and shook her head quickly. Don't talk nonsense, I'll get off now. After getting off the car, Chu Bingyang prepared to leave. But she seemed to have thought of something. After stopping for a moment, she walked around the car and came to Chu Hao's side. Chu Hao lowered the car window and looked at Chu Bingyang, somewhat puzzled. Before he could speak, Chu Bingyang slowly leaned forward and came in. A moment later, Chu Bingyang came out of the car with a red face. Chu Hao, now we're even. Chu Bingyang's face flushed, still a little shy. After saying that, she ran into the community in a hurry without waiting for Chu Hao to say anything. Chu Hao sat in the car, looking at Chu Bingyang's back. A smile suddenly appeared on his face. He had heard Shen Mengyao call him dad more than once. But I heard Chu Bingyang calling me dad. These are still two completely different experiences. He touched his chin and couldn't help but mutter to himself, interesting. If there's a chance, I really want to call both of them over to listen. After sending Chu Bingyang, Chu Hao didn't stay outside, but drove back to the dormitory. The physical exertion last night and this morning still made him feel a little overwhelmed. So he decided to go back and catch up on some sleep. When I returned to the dormitory, Chu Hao took a look and found that the three were not there. Chu Hao didn't care either. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu are Wang Ning's lackeys. The three of them are as close as wearing a pair of pants. And school has just started. It's not surprising where the three of them go to fool around. Ignore them and go to sleep. Chu Hao climbed onto the bed and soon fell into a deep sleep. I don't know how long it took. Brother Hao. Brother Hao. Chu Hao heard someone calling him. He didn't get much rest in the first place. And was woken up by someone. I couldn't help but feel a little irritated. Without thinking, he grabbed the pillow and ran towards the direction where the sound came from. Fuck. The man cursed subconsciously. Only then did Chu Hao open his eyes and look over. He found Liu Jiaqing standing there holding his pillow with a troubled look on his face. Brother Hao, are you awake? Facing Chu Hao's gaze, Liu Jiaqing didn't dare to complain and hurried over. When he called Chu Hao just now, he didn't expect Chu Hao to be so grumpy when waking up. Luckily it was a pillow. If I change it to something hard. He really didn't dare to think about it. Liu Jiaqing? It was you who called me just now. Chu Hao frowned. Liu Jiaqing nodded quickly, yes, Brother Hao. Chu Hao was still in a bad mood after getting up. He frowned and said in a cold tone, you disturbed my sleep. Do you want to die? He sat up and flexed his wrists. He discovered it only after he sat up. In addition to Liu Jiaqing, Chen Yu was also there. The only one missing was the eldest master Wang Ning. No, don't be angry, Brother Hao. Liu Jiaqing was frightened and thought Chu Hao was really going to take action. Chu Hao snorted coldly and let this guy go for the time being. Tell me, what's the matter? Liu Jiaqing quickly said, Brother Hao, we are here to apologize to you. Chen Yu chimed in, yes, Brother Hao, we are here to apologize to you. Chu Hao looked surprised. I hit you and you apologize to me? The sun is rising from the west. Both of them looked a little unhappy, and it was obvious that they were thinking about what happened yesterday. But they still said, after all, we were the ones who bullied you before, and we deserved it. And after being beaten by you, we also realized that we are all roommates, and there is no need to make the relationship so stiff. Yes, so we would like to treat you to a meal and a drink. I hope we can put aside our grudges and laugh it off. Yes, I hope Brother Hao can show me the favor. We promise that we will never cause you any trouble again. If you have any questions, you can always tell us, we will definitely do our best. The two of them sang in unison and said all the good things. Chu Hao stared at the two of them, his eyes sweeping across their faces. Just when the two were getting very nervous, Chu Hao suddenly laughed. Let us forget all grudges with a smile. That sounds nice. But he didn't believe it. Is there such a good thing in this world? Obviously. These two guys must be up to some conspiracy. Inviting him to dinner is definitely a hongmen banquet. Although the two of them were trying their best to cover it up. But they are just children after all. Their eyes still betrayed them. Okay, you'll treat me to a meal, right? You guys pick a place. Chu Hao didn't expose them either. Instead, we should see what tricks they are playing. When the two heard this, they couldn't help but look at each other with joy in their eyes. So how about the night side? Liu Jiaqing took the initiative to propose. The night scene he was talking about was a bar on the back street of the school. It is also the most popular bar near the school. Many students from Yunju University often go there to spend money. Chapter 12 Liu Jiaqing invites guests to dinner. Because the cost of living there is not expensive, students can afford it. Chu Hao didn't say anything, but looked at Chen Yu. Is what you said true? Chen Yu was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect to be called out suddenly. But he reacted quickly and nodded. Yes, it's true. He couldn't help but let his eyes wander, but he still tried to control them. Chu Hao's guess became more certain. These two bastards definitely didn't hold their farts in. Where's Wang Ning? Why are only you two apologizing? Chu Hao was not in a hurry to take the bait. Liu Jiaqing had obviously thought of an excuse long ago, and he quickly explained, Brother Ning has gone to reserve a place, isn't this a way of expressing sincerity? Chu Hao couldn't help laughing. Set a place? I don't think I promised to go. Liu Jiaqing was stunned for a moment. After hearing Chu Hao say so much, he thought Chu Hao had already agreed. Chen Yu's expression was also very stiff. Obviously Chu Hao didn't play by the rules, so they couldn't handle it. Liu Jiaqing's brain was working frantically, and he laughed dryly, Brother Hao, you are boring now, aren't you? We're all roommates in the same dormitory. Can't we invite you for the sake of the three of us? Chu Hao sneered. You three? How can you three have face in front of me? Do you really think of yourself as something? Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu's faces became even stiffer after being ridiculed by Chu Hao. And he was clearly angry. But they didn't dare to turn against each other. Instead, he continued to be humble. Brother Hao, don't say that. As long as you give us this opportunity, we are willing to show our sincerity. Don't you say you should drink 3 cups as punishment? As long as you go, Brother Hao, I'll drink 1 bottle. I've come to this point, Brother Hao, please be kind and give us some face. Seeing this, Chen Yu quickly agreed, yes, let's just blow a bottle to show our sincerity. Although he said this, he was already cursing in his heart. If he drank a bottle directly, he would probably vomit on the spot. But in order to get Chu Hao to agree, he could only say this. After saying that, the two looked at Chu Hao again, with anticipation in their eyes. Chu Hao started to consider it on the surface, but he was already very happy in his heart. This acting is really not up to standard. It's so purposeful, even a child wouldn't believe it, right? Although he had figured it out, he still didn't expose it. Instead, he wanted to see what tricks these two people were going to play. 1 bottle is not enough. How about this, each person blows 3 bottles. This is how you show your sincerity. If it works, I'll go. If it doesn't, forget it. 3 bottles. Both Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu's faces turned ugly. After all, we are all students and don't have many opportunities to drink. Blow 3 bottles directly. They are all afraid of going to the hospital. But Chu Hao has already said this. The two of them had no choice but to agree. Okay. 3 bottles is 3 bottles. As long as you can forgive us, Brother Hao, we will blow. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu's faces were filled with determination to die. A smile suddenly appeared on Chu Hao's face. Behind the university town, night bar. Amid the colorful lights, there are many figures shaking their bodies to their heart's content. In the box on the 2nd floor. Brother Bao, this is the situation. When he comes, it will be up to you to take action. The person who speaks. It was Wang Ning who had no lackeys following him. Opposite him was a man wearing a vest, with a bald head, tattooed arms, and a gold chain. Just to deal with a student. Brother Bao was holding a cigarette in his mouth, crossing his legs, and speaking in a calm tone. Wang Ning smiled and said, yes, just 1 student. He's very arrogant in school. I can't do anything about him, so I have no choice but to trouble Brother Bao. Brother Leopard smiled. It's just a small problem. Being rampant in school is not considered a skill. But here, I have the final say. Not to mention teaching him a lesson, even breaking his arms and legs would be no problem. Wang Ning waved his hands repeatedly. Not really, just give him a lesson. After all, they are still students in school. Wang Ning really doesn't have such a cruel heart. And if it really gets out of hand. He was also afraid that his future was in jeopardy. He didn't want his wonderful life to be ruined like this. That's fine. If that's the case, it will be easier later. So. Brother Leopard rubbed his fingers at Wang Ning. The meaning is self-evident. Wang Ning had been prepared for this, so he wasn't surprised. Brother Leopard, don't worry about the money. Wang Ning smiled and took out a wad of money from his pocket. Brother Leopard, click, this is for 1,000 yuan. Brother Bao took the money and counted it casually. Then put it aside. Not enough. Wang Ning, what? Brother Bao, it's just a beating, isn't 4,000 enough? Although he is a local, his family has some assets. But he only had so much pocket money. $4,000. He is already in pain. If it wasn't he for revenge on Chu Hao. It was impossible for him to spend so much money at one time. Is that a lot? Brother Leopard sneered. Wang Ning, have you forgotten my Brother Bao's reputation in the underworld? If it weren't for your sensible appearance, do you think I would take action? My face alone is worth more than $4,000. Brother Leopard narrowed his eyes and looked at Wang Ning. Although there was no action, the meaning was clear. Wang Ning didn't expect this matter to turn out like this. A full $4,000. Nothing can be done. What's more, he is just a college student who has never been to society. At this time, under the pressure from Brother Leopard, he was already sweating all over. Yesterday's Chu Hao could scare him. Not to mention Brother Leopard. Then. Brother Leopard, tell me a number. He didn't dare to test it anymore and just made it clear. Brother Leopard made a gesture. 8,000. I do things, too Geely. Just 8,000. Wang Ning's face suddenly changed. 8,000. He thought the price wouldn't be low. But he didn't expect Brother Leopard to double his money. It's just a beating. Brother Leopard, this is robbery, right? Brother Leopard glanced at him. Why? You think it's too expensive? Wang Ning immediately became timid and looked bitter. No, Brother Leopard, this price, isn't it too high? Brother Leopard sneered. Whether it's more or less, that's your problem. Since you asked me to take action, you must be prepared. But you are quite sensible, Brother Leopard will give you some face. 7,006. I'll take these 4,000 first, and give me the remaining 3,006 as soon as possible. Brother Leopard said this and put 4,000 yuan in his bag. Wang Ning's eyebrows twitched, but he didn't dare to say anything more. You can only bear this loss yourself. The 4,000 yuan has already fallen into Brother Leopard's hands. If he talks any more. Brother Leopard immediately turned hostile. He had no other options. No way. Wang Ning could only bear the pain and transfer another 3,600 yuan to Brother Bao. Just after Wang Ning discussed it with Brother Bao. Outside the bar at night. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu have already arrived with Chu Hao. Chapter 13, Damn, this bastard, how can he drink so much? Brother Hao, this is it. This is the best bar near our university. We invite you here, isn't that good enough? Liu Jiaqing grinned and patted his chest. Chu Hao looked at the bar in front of him, and some memories emerged in his mind. In his previous life, he was very honest when he was in college. But if you don't go crazy, you're wasting your youth. So he came a few times before graduation. Certainly. He certainly had no money at that time. Just here to join in the fun. Only now he was looking here again. It looks pretty shabby here. No matter from which aspect. That's all. Chu Hao didn't care about this. Where's Wang Ning? We're all here, where is he? Liu Jiaqing quickly replied, Brother Ning is inside, waiting for us. We can just go in directly. After saying that, the two of them walked in front and led the way for Chu Hao. Chu Hao followed behind with a calm expression. The three of them went directly to the second floor. Outside a private room, Liu Jiaqing confirmed it before pushing the door open. Wang Ning was the only one in the box. When Chu Hao saw Wang Ning also saw Chu Hao. At that moment, Wang Ning seemed to see the 7,600 yuan he had spent. My eyes are a little red. If it weren't for Chu Hao, wouldn't have spent so much money? Chu Hao didn't know what Wang Ning was thinking. Even if they knew, they would just sneer. For a moment, the atmosphere was a little awkward. Seeing that the situation was not right, Liu Jiaqing hurried out to smooth things over. Brother Ning, Brother Hao is here, why don't you show your appreciation? After hearing what Liu Jiaqing said, Wang Ning came back to his senses and collected his thoughts. He forced a smile on his face. Brother Hao is here, come and sit down. I've already ordered the food, it will be delivered right away. Chu Hao glanced at him, sneered, and sat over. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu then sat down. Wang Ning first poured Chu Hao a glass of wine. He said, Brother Hao, Jiaqing and Chen Yu should have told you. We were wrong about what happened in the past, don't take it to heart. I hope we can reconcile in the future. The first cup, I toast to you. I did it, you can do whatever you want. After saying that, he drank the whole glass of beer. Putting down the wine glass, Wang Ning looked at Chu Hao. Chu Hao glanced at the cup in front of him and was too lazy to move his hands. When Wang Ning saw this, the smile on his face froze. Brother Hao, what do you mean? Chu Hao smiled and looked at Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu, didn't we agree to blow 3 bottles? Let's start. Wang Ning looked at the two lackeys, his face full of confusion, what do you mean by blowing 3 bottles? Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu's faces were stiff, just, our apologies to Brother Hao. It's okay, just 3 bottles, let's drink. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu also gritted their teeth, opened 3 bottles of beer, and gulped them down. The two young men, college students, didn't drink much on weekdays. I drank 3 bottles in a row and couldn't help vomiting halfway through. But in order to gain Chu Hao's trust, The two of them still gritted their teeth and finished drinking. After drinking 3 bottles, both of them felt a little dizzy. However, at this moment, Chu Hao picked up the wine glass. You have a good alcohol tolerance. Come, I toast you. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu were both dumbfounded. But Chu Hao had already offered the wine, so they didn't dare to refuse. I had no choice but to open another bottle and fill it up for myself. However, this is just an appetizer. Chu Hao drank a lot in his previous life. Now that I'm young, I can drink quite well. So he started to get these 3 people drinking. Anyway, it was agreed that he would be the one making the decision today. So he picked up the wine, and the other 3 had no choice but to drink along. After a while, Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu couldn't bear it anymore. Brother Hao, I really can't do it anymore. No matter what you say, keep drinking. If you don't drink, you're not giving me face. Brother Hao, I'm really not giving you face, Then drink it. I've already drunk it, so you guys can do whatever you want. This drinking session lasted more than an hour. Wang Ning saw that something was not right, so he quickly found an excuse and dragged the 2 drunk lackeys out of the box. Standing outside, Wang Ning looked inside the box and still couldn't help feeling scared. The 3 of them. Chu Hao almost drank himself into submission. If it weren't for his wit, I'm afraid none of the 3 of them can escape. Damn, this bastard, how can he drink so much? Wang Ning felt depressed. But he was too lazy to think about it. I quickly took out my cell phone and sent a message to Brother Leopard. He put away his phone and slapped the 2 lackeys on the face a few more times. A few slaps. The 2 lackeys finally recovered a little. His eyelids were just open, but the alcohol was still in him. The 2 people could only lean against the wall and couldn't even stand steadily. You 2 idiots, stop embarrassing me here and leave now. Wang Ning cursed angrily. He dragged the 2 people out. And in the box, Chu Hao put down his wine glass and sneered. He had learned his drinking capacity and drinking skills at the drinking table in his previous life. How could these 3 rookies figure it out? If he hadn't let it go on purpose. Wang Ning, don't even think about running away. But the wine has been drunk, and the next step should be Wang Ning's little tricks. Okay, let me see what you guys are up to. Chu Hao sneered and looked at the door of the box. I couldn't help but speculate what Wang Ning was doing. Based on his understanding of Wang Ning. If Wang Ning was exhausted, he would just find some thugs to beat him up. This is the limit of what this little kid can think of. No matter how powerful the method is, he can't think of it and dare not use it. Just as he was thinking about it, he suddenly noticed the time on his phone. It's past 12. Chu Hao realized that he had a new chance to win the lottery. System, draw a lottery. Without any hesitation, he directly used today's lottery opportunity. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the night bar. Night bar? Is this the bar he is in now? Chu Hao looked at the system prompt with a strange expression on his face. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? Could this dog system be the same as the big data of later generations? This is the first time he has come here since his rebirth. So the night bar became his? In terms of value, this night bar is just so-so. But at the moment, it's pretty good. Chu Hao muttered to himself. And next, it's time for Wang Ning to take revenge. Although he was confident before, it would be troublesome. We need some means to resolve this matter. But now the bar is his. Then solving the problem will become very simple. Thinking of this, Chu Hao suddenly felt a little regretful. If Wang Ning and those 3 bastards hadn't left yet. I know he is the owner of the night bar. What expression would that be? Just when Chu Hao was thinking about it, A's cell phone suddenly rang. Chu Hao took a look and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Chapter 14: Chu Hao's Anger. After the call was connected, a friendly voice came from the other end. Hello, is this Mr. Chu? It's me. Hello, Mr. Chu. I'm Jiang Dao, the manager of the night bar. You can just call me Old Jiang. I just got the news that you bought the bar, so I wanted to ask you, when will you have time to come over? We can handle the handover. Jiang Dao was very polite. After all, we are facing a new boss. Even a big shot like Shinqiani has to show great respect to Chu Hao. Not to mention him. Chu Hao said calmly, No need to find time, I'm in the night now. Jiang Dao was stunned for a moment. You are in Yis. Where are you then? I'll come over now. It's the innermost box on the left side of the second floor. Come over. Chu Hao told his location. After saying that, he hung up the phone. As soon as Chu Hao hung up the phone, the door of the box was kicked open. A group of thugs rushed into the room. The leader was none other than Brother Leopard. Brother Leopard had a ferocious look on his face as he looked at the only person in the box. You're just called Chu Hao. As he said that, he took 2 steps forward and reached out to grab Chu Hao's collar. However, before he could touch Chu Hao suddenly jumped up. He picked up a beer bottle and smashed it on Brother Leopard's head. Juan? A crisp sound. The beer bottle was not broken. Brother Leopard's head was swollen. Blood gushed out. Like a fountain. The group of younger brothers following Brother Leopard haven't reacted yet. Everyone was stunned when they saw this scene. What is this? They came to teach someone a lesson, but the boss got the head cut first. Isn't this right? A group of younger brothers looked at each other, not knowing what to do. After Chu Hao knocked Brother Leopard down with a bottle, he did not chase after him. Instead, he sat back on the sofa, crossed his legs, and had a calm expression. It was as if the person who just attacked was not him at all. The group of younger brothers didn't dare to act rashly. Although there were more than a dozen of them facing Chu Hao alone. But they were overwhelmed by Chu Hao. Brother Leopard was lying on the ground, his head buzzing. Chu Hao glanced at him. I'm Chu Hao, what's wrong? Several younger brothers stepped forward cautiously and helped Brother Leopard up. Brother Leopard covered his head with his hands, his face full of disbelief. How dare you hit me? He still hasn't recovered from his shock. Damn it. Chu Hao has a sweet mouth. Okay, stop pretending. Was it that loser Wang Ning who asked you to come here? Brother Leopard shook his head and became a little more sober. Hearing Chu Hao's words, he frowned, you know. Anyway, he just takes money to do the job. But I didn't have the awareness to keep it confidential to my employer. Chu Hao was not surprised at all. He glanced at the group and sneered. They are all snakes and rats from the same nest. That piece of shit he has will only look for idiots like you. When Brother Leopard heard this, his eyes widened. Who the hell are you scolding? Chu Hao glanced at him and was too lazy to say more. Brother Leopard was fully awake at this time. The severe pain on his head made him even more angry. Boy, you are crazy. You really think I dare not touch you? Chu Hao sneered and sat there without moving. You can try. Brother Leopard really didn't believe it. I'm just touching you, what can you do to me? Can you let me walk out sideways? Who do you think you are? Do you think this is your bar? Chu Hao smiled. This bar really is mine. Brother Leopard was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that Chu Hao would actually respond. As for what Chu Hao said, he definitely didn't believe it. Although Yis can't be said to be the best bar in Yunju, available near the university town, there is absolutely no better bar than Nightfall. In his eyes, Chu Hao is just a poor boy who is still in school. How could this bar be his? You're such a boaster, I almost believed it. But boy, bragging is useless in this society. I, Leopard, don't believe you. Brother Leopard doesn't want to continue talking. He was afraid that if he waited any longer, he would lose too much blood and die. He picked up a bottle from the table, ready to give the man a taste of his own medicine. However, just as he picked up the bottle, he heard an angry shout from behind, "Stop!" Brother Leopard was stunned for a moment and looked back. This one glance made his face change drastically. Jiang Dao. Of course he recognized Jiang Dao. After all, he has been here many times. I know that Jiang Dao is the person in charge of this bar. Although Jiang Dao is not a big shot, but in this small piece of land in the university town, still has something to say. Anyway, he is definitely not as good as Jiang Dao. In Jiang Dao's eyes, at best, he is just a guy who is doing well. Brother Bao didn't have time to deal with Chu Hao. He quickly put down the wine bottle and went over to him with a smile. Isn't this Brother Dao? Why are you here? Jiang Dao gave him a cold look. Why am I here? If I don't come, are you going to tear down my bar? Brother Bao smiled along, not daring to refute. How can I do that? Even if you give me more courage, I wouldn't dare to do that. As he said this, he reached out and pulled his younger brothers away, asking them to stop blocking him. However, before he could get close to Jiang Dao walked into the box. Jiang Dao walked into the box and passed by Brother Bao and others and came in front of Chu Hao. Mr. Chu, I'm really sorry that you have to encounter this kind of thing here. His tone was very respectful, but he was also afraid. Fortunately, he came early. If it was any later, the consequences would be very serious. If this matter gets out. It is said that the boss of Yise was beaten by gangsters in Yise. Jiang Dao's reputation must have been ruined. I'm afraid I'll become a complete joke outside in the future. Chu Hao's expression was calm, and he was not moved at all. It's not too late. Chu Hao's tone made Jiang Dao feel relieved. It sounded like Chu Hao was not angry. That's easy. Mr. Chu, I'm glad you're okay. I'm very sorry about what happened today. I didn't know you were coming. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Hao asked, so, they can do whatever they want here. Chu Hao stood up and pointed at Brother Bao and his group. The tone was extremely cold. Where is this place? It's night here. It's the most popular bar near the university town. A bunch of hooligans are running rampant here. If this matter gets out, will we still be able to do business in the future? Certainly. Chu Hao was just talking. After all, the nature of a place like a bar is obvious. I hope there are no gangsters here and that everything is safe and well behaved. It's impossible. It's the same no matter where the bar is. Unless it's the kind of bar that doesn't intend to make money. The reason why he said this was to warn Jiang Dao. So that he won't take this matter seriously at all. Jiang Dao is different from Shinqiani. Shinqiani is a serious businessman. Businessmen have their own rules. And we can take over Tiannan Square. In Shinqiani's eyes, Chu Hao is worthy of his submission. Chapter 15 Jiang Dao's shock. Jiang Dao is different. Although he is the person in charge of the bar. But in fact, he is just a more elegant gangster. It's a different world, and the rules are different. In front of Jiang Dao. His identity as a boss does not have enough deterrent power. It is difficult to control such people without any means. As expected. After Chu Hao said this, Jiang Dao broke out in a cold sweat. But he didn't dare to wipe it and could only nod repeatedly. Mr. Chu, you are right. I'll kick them out right now. After saying that, he turned around and looked at the people who followed him. What are you standing there for? Didn't you hear what Mr. Chu said? Facing Chu Hao, he was very humble. But when facing his subordinates, he is very confident. The group of security guards did not dare to delay and even drew out their batons. He cursed and drove away Brother Leopard and his group of people. The group of younger brothers didn't dare to resist at all, and Brother Leopard was the same. Soon, a group of people were kicked out of the bar. Standing at the door of the bar, Brother Leopard was still a little dazed. He is also an old acquaintance of this night bar. He has a pretty good relationship with Jiang Dao. As for taking action here, this is not the first or second time. Why did you suddenly start chasing people away this time? That poor student, how could he have such a big face? He really couldn't figure it out, so he could only try to get close to the security guard who kicked them out. Brother, please find out, what is the identity of that student just now? He is not stupid either. I know the problem lies with Chu Hao. Therefore, when asking around, he didn't dare to say anything bad about Chu Hao. Identity. That's our boss. The security guard sneered. He pointed at Brother Bao's nose and cursed, Erguzi, I'm warning you. Get out of here. Get as far away as you can. Otherwise, when our boss comes to settle the score, you'll have to figure out what will happen to you. After saying that, several security guards turned and walked into the bar. Brother Bao and the group of younger brothers behind him all stood there in a daze. Especially Brother Leopard. He had made fun of Chu Hao when Chu Hao said he was the owner of a bar. So what they said is true. No wonder. No wonder Chu Hao was so calm before. How could they not be calm when they were in their own bar? Fortunately, he didn't do it just now. Otherwise it would be just like what Chu Hao said. There was no way he could walk out of the bar standing. I'm afraid he will be carried out, or thrown out. Brother Leopard suddenly felt a sense of fear. Fortunately, Jiang Dao arrived in time. He was not given a chance to do anything. As for what happens in the future, Brother Leopard didn't dare to think too much. If Jiang Dao wanted to deal with him, it would only take a word. If Chu Hao wanted to deal with him, he really didn't dare to think about it. Coming back to his senses, Brother Leopard couldn't help but curse. However, the one being scolded was not Chu Hao. Damn you, Jiang Ning! You're the one who's causing me trouble. I still think he's an honest man. If I really get caught, this bastard won't have an easy life either. He now hates Wang Ning. If it weren't for Wang Ning, how could he possibly offend a big shot like Chu Hao? In the bar, after driving away Brother Leopard and his group of people, the box finally became quiet. Chu Hao was still sitting there. Jiang Dao stood in front of him, bending over. Don't dare to be negligent in the slightest. Okay, sit down. Chu Hao glanced at him with a cold tone. Jiang Dao laughed dryly twice, nodded quickly, and carefully sat down on the farthest sofa with half of his butt. Mr. Chu, I'm so sorry. I will definitely clean up the situation at the bar in the future. I promise that such a thing will never happen again. Chu Hao waved his hand. All right, you and I know the situation of a bar. I won't argue with you. But if it happens again, don't blame me for speaking out in advance. Jiang Dao nodded quickly. Boss, rest assured, I will supervise all departments and conduct strict inspections. We must prevent this from happening again and protect the safety of every customer. Chu Hao nodded. Okay, I'll remember this. Okay, let's get down to business. Chu Hao didn't continue to care about this matter. I just bought the bar on a whim. I will not interfere in the operation and management of the business. It's just a small bar. It's not worth my attention. Jiang Dao was stunned, and his respect for Chu Hao increased even more. He originally thought that Chu Hao only had a small amount of assets. I didn't expect such a big bar. Chu Hao didn't take it seriously either. Naturally, he wouldn't think Chu Hao was bragging. As a boss, there was no need for Chu Hao to brag like this to a subordinate like him. Boss, you are right. Chu Hao didn't mind revealing some of his cards. If you can't contact me for any reason in the future, you can contact Shincheni at Tiannan Plaza. You and he are in the same position. Jiang Dao was stunned for a moment before he reacted. This is what Chu Hao meant. Tiannan Plaza is also Chu Hao's property. There is naturally no comparison between Tiannan Plaza and Night Bar. If we have to measure it by value, it would take about a dozen night bars to rival Tiannan Plaza. It's just comparable. In fact, the value is not comparable at all. Although he had tried his best to overestimate Chu Hao's assets. But when I think of the terrible value of Tiannan Plaza, Jiang Dao still felt a tremor in his heart. In his heart, Chu Hao's status was infinitely elevated. Boss, if you have anything to do in the future, just tell me. I, Jiang Dao, will definitely go through fire and water for you. Jiang Dao knew it very well. He wants to achieve greater success in the future. You must hold onto the boss's thigh. Although Jiang Dao looks very prosperous now. But that's only in the eyes of ordinary people. In the eyes of the real bosses, Jiang Dao is nothing. There is no difference from those ordinary people. Chu Hao just nodded calmly, not seeming to care. Jiang Dao didn't find it strange either. Such a mysterious boss with a background. If you could please someone just by saying a few nice words. Instead, he began to doubt. Chu Hao actually thinks highly of Jiang Dao. After all, he is still in college. Jiang Dao is the local boss in the university town. The effect it can achieve is better than Shincheni's. And Shincheni is a serious business person. Many things are difficult to do. Jiang Dao can solve these problems. Okay, I'm going back now. You can continue with your work. Chu Hao has achieved his goal today. Jiang Dao quickly said, Boss, where are you going? I'll take you there. Chu Hao drank. If they really went somewhere else, Chu Hao would have accepted Jiang Dao's kindness. No, I'm going back to school. Jiang Dao was stunned for a moment before he reacted. The shock Chu Hao gave him was too great. As a result, he even forgot Chu Hao's identity as a student. For Chu Hao, what happened in the night bar was just a trivial episode in his life. After seeing Chu Hao off, Jiang Dao sat in the box to calm down. For him, what happened today completely changed his destiny. Chapter 16. Wang Ning is taught a lesson. Chu Hao fell asleep soon after returning to school. No words were spoken that night. Early the next morning, when Wang Ning woke up, a smile appeared on his face unconsciously. Looking at the ceiling, he seemed to have thought of Chu Hao's miserable condition. As a result, when he sat up, he saw Chu Hao sleeping soundly on the bed beside him. People were dumbfounded at that time. He is well aware of Brother Leopard's methods. Even if Chu Hao doesn't die, he will definitely be skinned alive. Maybe he has been sent to the hospital now. When he got up, he found Chu Hao sleeping soundly in bed. Subconsciously, Wang Ning called Brother Bao to inquire about the situation. Damn it, my little Baqian, is he really fed to the dogs? That shouldn't be the case. Didn't Brother Leopard go there? Wang Ning still has some doubts about life. Holding the cell phone, he walked out of the dormitory and called Brother Bao in the bathroom. Brother Bao, I'm Wang Ning. Wang Ning's tone was very bad. What's wrong with you? Where's the deal? Why did Chu Hao come back safe and sound? Are you trying to break the rules? Wang Ning came up and started to scold him. If it were in normal times. Even if Brother Leopard really broke the rules. He didn't dare to talk to Brother Leopard like that. But after seeing Chu Hao, he had already lost some of his mind. Besides, he also felt that he was right. Therefore, it is even more justified. After Wang Ning scolded him, it was unusually quiet on the other end of the line. Wang Ning once suspected that the phone was broken. Brother Leopard, are you there? This time, Brother Leopard finally spoke. I am here. Wang Ning finally breathed a sigh of relief when he heard Brother Bao's voice. Okay, Brother Leopard, shouldn't you give me an explanation? An explanation? What explanation do you want? Or should I return your money to you? Wang Ning was stunned for a moment, somewhat unable to believe it. Brother Leopard is so easy to talk to? Although Chu Hao was not dealt with, he felt a little regretful. But it's okay if Brother Leopard is willing to return the money. Brother Leopard, are you serious? Well, I did something wrong this time. Brother Leopard's tone was very calm. I'm near Yunduan University. Come to the back door and I'll give you the money. Wang Ning didn't expect Brother Leopard to be serious. He also felt relieved, thinking that Brother Leopard still followed the rules. Although Brother Leopard didn't take action, he felt a little regretful. But as long as the money is returned, he could find someone else. Okay, Brother Leopard, wait a moment, I'll be right there. Wang Ning didn't think much about it. After returning to the dormitory, he quickly changed his clothes and rushed to the back door. After reaching the back door, Wang Ning looked around but did not see Brother Bao. Just about to make a phone call, a black van suddenly stopped in front of him. The second row of doors opened, revealing Brother Leopard. Get in the car. Wang Ning got in the car without thinking much. Brother Leopard, where's my money? Brother Leopard didn't answer, but closed the car door. Wang Ning's heart moved, and he suddenly had an ominous premonition. But he thought about it and felt that it shouldn't be done. He has no grudge against Brother Leopard. Even if you don't want a refund, it won't be disadvantageous to him. However, the guy driving in front suddenly drove the car and stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. Brother Leopard also locked all the doors on both sides of the car. Wang Ning was a little panicked, but still asked, Brother Bao, what are you doing? Brother Leopard sneered without explaining. He slapped Wang Ning directly in the face. Wang Ning just felt his head buzzing. Everyone is dumbfounded. What's going on? What about the promised refund? Why am I getting beaten here? What are you doing? I'm going to fuck you. You hurt me so badly, and you still want money. Brother Bao gnashed his teeth and wished he could grind Wang Ning into ashes. It's the little guy in front of you. It cost less than $8,000. Brother Leopard almost lost his life. The more Brother Leopard thought about it, the angrier he became, and his attack became even more ruthless. More than an hour later, in a remote alley not far from Yunduan University, Brother Leopard had already vented his anger at this time and his anger subsided. But when I saw Wang Ning again, I still felt a little angry. He pointed at Wang Ning, who was lying on the ground holding his head, and cursed, You bastard, don't let me see you again. I'll beat you up every time I see you. How dare a fool like you fight with Mr. Chu? Why don't you take a piss and see what you look like? After saying. It seems that he is still not satisfied. Brother Bao spat a mouthful of thick phlegm on Wang Ning's face. The younger brothers around him immediately took this opportunity to show their loyalty. They all came over, stepped on it a few times, and spat at it. After everything was done, Brother Leopard took everyone away. Wang Ning, lying on the ground, was questioning his life. When Brother Leopard was beating me, Brother Leopard said everything. He also knew why he was beaten. He still had some doubts about his life at this time. Because he couldn't believe it. Chu Hao is actually the boss of Yise. How is this possible? Yunju University, boys' dormitory. When Chu Hao woke up, it was already past 11 o'clock in the morning. It was already very late when I came back yesterday. I also drank a lot of alcohol. More importantly, the consumption in these 2 days is really too great. According to Chinese medicine, 1 drop of semen is equal to 10 drops of blood. That night, Shen Mengyao was like a juicer. Although he is young. But I still couldn't bear the fatigue. After sitting up, he glanced at the others. Wang Ning has disappeared. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu were still sleeping soundly. Chu Hao didn't think much about it. While washing up, Chu Hao felt his stomach growling. It seems like I haven't eaten in the cafeteria for a long time. Let's eat in the cafeteria today. Including the previous life. It's been more than 10 years in total. Although the cafeteria of Yunju University is not a paradise for gourmets. But people just like to reminisce. On their way to the cafeteria, Chu Hao called Shen Mengyao. Soon, the call was connected. Shen Mengyao's sweet voice came from inside. Hey, husband, did you miss me? Chu Hao smiled and said, well, have you had lunch? Not yet, husband, do you want to take me to dinner? Shen Mengyao's voice is still very sweet, with a strong sense of dependence. I'm going to go to the cafeteria to grab a bite to eat. Do you want to join me? Let's go together. As long as I'm with you, my husband, we can eat anywhere. Shen Mengyao answered very quickly, and it was obvious that she already had the answer. Shen Mengyao's answer made Chu Hao couldn't help but smile. This is the advantage of having money. Even a goddess like Shen Mengyao. But all he needs is a phone call. You can take it out anytime, anywhere. And no matter what he does. Shen Mengyao would never refuse. But honey, I haven't put on makeup yet, can you wait for me? Shen Mengyao asked again. Okay, I'll wait for you downstairs in your dormitory. How long will it take you? Chu Hao didn't mind. Very soon, 10 minutes will be enough. Shen Mengyao didn't dare to waste time. Even makeup should be kept simple. Chu Hao nodded. He could still accept this time. Honey, hang up the phone. I'll start putting on makeup right away. Chapter 17 Confession to Shen Mengyao. Hang up the phone. Chu Hao changed his clothes casually, washed up simply, and left the dormitory. The other side. Shen Mengyao was putting on makeup carefully in the dormitory. Ever since she became Chu Hao's woman, she became more and more dependent on Chu Hao. Even if it's just eating in the cafeteria together. She couldn't help but be very happy. This was simply impossible in the past. Mengyao, what are you thinking about? Can you smile so happily even when you're wearing makeup? Shen Mengyao's roommate came out of the bathroom wearing glasses. She looked at Shen Mengyao's smiling face with some confusion. Because she had never seen Shen Mengyao so happy. Guess what? Apart from her dear husband, who else can make Mengyao so happy? On the other side, a girl with a delicate face but a sexy body, wearing cartoon pajamas and 2 pairs of white stockings on her legs, was sitting on the bed. She laughed and teased. Husband. The roommate wearing glasses was stunned for a moment. Mengyao, when did you get a husband? Shen Mengyao recalled how she met Chu Hao and couldn't help but smile sweetly. It happened 2 days ago. She couldn't help but feel thankful for her initial initiative. Otherwise, there would be no current story. 2 days ago. Right after school started. My roommate with glasses was a little surprised. But at this moment, she seemed to have thought of something. Pointing at Shen Mengyao with wide eyes. Mengyao, let me ask you something. Shen Mengyao was putting on makeup and looking at her roommate in the mirror. What's wrong? You didn't come back the night before last. You were with your husband, weren't you? After hearing this, the lowly roommate sitting on the bed came back to her senses and looked at Shen Mengyao. Shen Mengyao couldn't help but blush. No need to answer, both roommates have already reacted. After all, we are all adults. What don't they understand? Oh my god, really? My roommate with glasses was a little surprised. Aren't you guys too aggressive? We met on the same day and lived together on the same day. That's fast enough. Shen Mengyao is one of the campus beauties of Yunju University. I rarely even talked to boys before. However, I didn't expect it. Unexpectedly, one day, it would suddenly develop so fast. My roommate who was sitting on the bed was also surprised. Right, Mengyao, this person has to be the boyfriend of Shen Mengyao to make you give in so easily, right? I remember when you were talking to Wang Hao, you were very persistent for more than half a year, right? Shen Mengyao was originally blushing a little. When he suddenly heard the name Wang Hao, his face suddenly turned a little ugly. The roommate who was sitting on the bed also came to his senses and realized that he had said the wrong thing. The expression was a little awkward. He quickly stuck out his tongue and apologized cutely. I'm sorry, Mengyao, I spoke without thinking. The roommate with glasses also apologized. Mengyao, don't mind it. You know Tongtong's personality very well. She definitely didn't mean anything else. Both of them were apologizing, so Shen Mengyao naturally wouldn't care. Why are you saying that? It's no secret that I was in love with Wang Hao. And I've confessed it to my boyfriend. Yi Shintong, who was sitting on the bed, finally breathed a sigh of relief. Don't worry, Mengyao. I will definitely remember this matter in the future. After saying this, he raised 3 fingers to show that he swears. Shen Mengyao smiled and said that she didn't care. She continued to put on her makeup. A few minutes later, she looked at herself in the makeup mirror and asked her 2 roommates. Look, what do you think? Yi Shintong gave a thumbs up. Great, it's a pity that I'm not a man, otherwise I would definitely love you to death. Shen Mengyao rolled her eyes at her. You love me to death? Come on, with those 2 pieces of flesh of yours, I'm afraid you'll crush me to death. Yi Shintong couldn't help but blush when being teased. Mengyao, we agreed not to joke about this. Don't you know that it's very uncomfortable for me to grow up like this? If conditions permit, I would want to switch with you. I can't even find clothes that fit me. Shen Mengyao giggled. No, I don't want to live such a tiring life. In the end, men will get the advantage anyway. And it grows on your body. I can touch it when I have nothing to do. How nice. As she spoke, Shen Mengyao walked to the bed and reached out to touch it. Yi Shintong's face turned even redder. Mengyao, don't do this, or I won't let you touch me anymore. Shen Mengyao smiled and said, You won't let me touch you. Do you want to let those men get away with it? As she spoke, she touched him twice more before leaving the dormitory. Yi Shintong sat on the bed and only breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Shen Mengyao leave. But when she looked down, she couldn't help sighing again. Alas, it's still too big. It would be fine if it could be the same size as Mengyao. Downstairs in the dormitory, Chu Hao was still waiting for Shen Mengyao. It has been more than 10 minutes since he came here. But there was still no sign of Shen Mengyao. Sure enough, the time a woman puts on makeup is always fake. He couldn't help but complain. When he went out, it took him more than 10 minutes to wash and walk. As a result, I waited downstairs for almost 20 minutes, but still didn't see Shen Mengyao. He was getting a little impatient waiting and took out his cell phone to call Shen Mengyao. Just at this moment, Shen Mengyao walked out of the dormitory building. Chu Hao saw it at a glance. Compared to when we first met, Shen Mengyao obviously put more effort into her dress today. Wearing a pair of white high heels, shirt and tight skirt. She has long hair and wears light makeup. She looks innocent but dresses sexy. The advantage of dressing like this is, Chu Hao's first glance fell on those 2 long, straight white legs. I couldn't help but recall the feeling of carrying these 2 legs on my shoulders. At this moment, I couldn't help but want to salute. I have to say, this woman really understands men. Originally, Chu Hao was a little bothered by Shen Mengyao's lateness. But now after seeing Shen Mengyao, his inner dissatisfaction immediately dissipated. He was just about to say hello to Shen Mengyao. But he hasn't spoken yet. Then a boy holding a rose stood in front of Shen Mengyao. Chu Hao was a little surprised. It looks like he wants to confess to Shen Mengyao? Chu Hao became interested, but did not step forward to stop it. As expected. After the boy stopped Shen Mengyao, he knelt on one knee. He held the roses in his hands with a look of deep affection on his face. Mengyao, be my girlfriend. Really? Confess to Shen Mengyao. Chu Hao raised his eyebrows and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He has already taken Shen Mengyao. But this matter has not been made public yet. Even if it's public, this does not prevent some people from being blinded by lust and relentlessly pursuing beauties like Shen Mengyao. A beauty. All men like it. But he didn't think this was a good thing. Now Shen Mengyao is his woman. Even if he didn't show up, Shen Mengyao would never agree to such a confession. If Shen Mengyao had nothing to do with him, he might just watch the fun from the sidelines. Chapter 18 Shen Mengyao's ex-boyfriend. The boy's sudden appearance scared Shen Mengyao. However, when she saw the boy's appearance clearly, her expression immediately turned cold. Wang Hao, it's you again. Shen Mengyao directly revealed the boy's identity. He was the only boyfriend she acknowledged having during her college years. Certainly. He was just an ex-boyfriend who held hands with me. It was just time for lunch. In addition to Chu Hao, many students around also noticed this scene. Seeing Wang Hao kneeling on one knee in front of Shen Mengyao, everyone couldn't help but gather around. What a big bouquet of roses. This boy is so romantic. Not only is he very romantic, but is also quite handsome. Isn't it too happy to be confessed to like this? That's about it. The key point is that the person who confessed his love was Shen Mengyao. Compared with Shen Mengyao, this guy is nothing. Indeed, these big white legs are really top-notch. Fuck, so she is Shen Mengyao? Yesterday I heard that she had a very rich boyfriend. Is this him? Impossible. Various discussions were heard around. However, Shen Mengyao's expression became increasingly ugly as she looked at Wang Hao in front of her. Wang Hao, get up quickly, don't do this. She frowned, obviously feeling uncomfortable with Wang Hao's behavior. Wang Hao shook his head. No, I won't get up if you don't agree to me. Shen Mengyao became even angrier. Wang Hao, we have broken up. Don't you think it's boring to say this now? Wang Hao pursued her relentlessly. How can it be meaningless? After we broke up, I thought about you day and night. I can't live without you in my life. I was wrong to break up with you before. Give me one more chance. Wang Hao was moved by what he said. Many girls around couldn't help but be moved. But for Shen Mengyao. But I didn't feel anything. After meeting Chu Hao, Shen Mengyao has completely transformed. After seeing the charm of money and power. Such a self-touching confession scene would only make her feel embarrassed and childish. Wang Hao, I've told you very clearly. There will no longer be any possibility between us. I have a boyfriend now, too. I don't want you to cause any misunderstandings to my boyfriend. Shen Mengyao became a little impatient. This kind of persistence made her feel quite disgusted. After listening to the previous words, Wang Hao didn't feel anything. But when Shen Mengyao said that she already had a boyfriend. But his expression changed. No, it's impossible. I pursued you for a whole semester, and it's only been a few days. How could you have a boyfriend? You must be lying to me. No one understands you better than me. He didn't believe what Shen Mengyao said at all. In his opinion, Shen Mengyao said this in order to make him care about Shen Mengyao more. However, before he could continue speaking, a voice came from behind him. She didn't lie to you. Hearing this, Wang Hao was stunned for a moment and turned to look behind him. Chu Hao walked over slowly. Shen Mengyao originally looked impatient. However, after seeing Chu Hao, a sweet smile immediately appeared on her face. Hubby, you're here. She walked with her long legs, bypassed Wang Hao and came to Chu Hao. The students who were watching were all dumbfounded when they saw this scene. What is going on? Change face. He looked impatient just now. Such a sweet smile in the blink of an eye? Isn't he this too real? Wang Hao, who was kneeling on the ground, couldn't help but frown when he saw this scene. He looked at Chu Hao and suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Who are you? Chu Hao glanced at him and smiled. Who am I? Didn't you hear what Mengyao called me just now? He reached out and hugged Shen Mengyao's slender waist. A big hand was still caressing Shen Mengyao's body. Shen Mengyao blushed and leaned on Chu Hao, but did not resist. As a girl, and a smart woman at that, Shen Mengyao knew very well what value she had to Chu Hao. It's not just about being good in bed. Outside, Chu Hao must also be given face. Chu Hao is doing this now, on the one hand, to assert his sovereignty and tell everyone that Shen Mengyao is already taken. On the other hand, it makes you look better. When men are outside, they either show off their money or show off their women. So, Shen Mengyao was obedient. Chu Hao was very satisfied with Shen Mengyao's reaction. He stood in front of Wang Hao, looking at Wang Hao, who was still kneeling on the ground. Now, do you understand? Countless eyes around were now all on Chu Hao. When they saw Chu Hao unscrupulously hugging Shen Mengyao into his arms, most of the boys couldn't help but envy her. After all, Shen Mengyao is one of the campus beauties of Yunju University. Being able to do whatever he wants to a school beauty in public. This is simply a winner in life. They couldn't even help but put themselves in the picture. What a pity. Shen Mengyao is already Chu Hao's woman. They can only think about it in their hearts. Same. Wang Hao's eyes turned red when he saw Chu Hao's behavior. He talked to Shen Mengyao for such a long time. The most intimate action was touching Shen Mengyao's hand. Even so, Shen Mengyao still scolded me for a long time. As a result, now Shen Mengyao has actually developed to this point with someone else? How long has it been since they broke up? Shen Mengyao, is he really your boyfriend? He stood up angrily and questioned Shen Mengyao. Shen Mengyao glanced at him with a cold tone. Haven't you already seen it? Do you need me to tell you a few more times? After saying that, she turned around and kissed Chu Hao on the face. Then he looked at Wang Hao. Wang Hao. Others are already stupid. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. He couldn't believe that this was something the once cold and unapproachable Shen Mengyao would do. At first, he had to put a lot of effort into even touching Shen Mengyao's hand. As a result, now Shen Mengyao actually took the initiative to kiss a man in public? Was everything he knew about Shen Mengyao before false? Hubby, let's go and ignore him. Shen Mengyao took Chu Hao's arm and shook it coquettishly. Chu Hao nodded, too lazy to continue wasting time. No matter from what perspective, there was no need for him to compete with Wang Hao, his defeated opponent. If it weren't for Wang Hao's sudden appearance today, he wouldn't even remember that there was such a person. Chu Hao put his arm around Shen Mengyao's waist and turned away under the gazes of countless people. Wang Hao stood there, looking at the two people's intimate backs. Especially when I think of Shen Mengyao's cold attitude in the past. His anger suddenly rose. You bastards! I'm going to kill you! He threw the rose to the ground. In a rage. He didn't even care that this was a school. Chapter 19, taking Shen Mengyao to the night. Now. Wang Hao just wanted to teach Chu Hao a lesson. He took a big step forward and punched Chu Hao in the back. The students watching had no idea of this at all. Wang Hao was surprisingly so impulsive. It's just the skill of being in a daze. Wang Hao has already arrived behind Chu Hao. Hubby, be careful. Shen Mengyao was the first to react and exclaimed. But it was too late. This punch had already reached Chu Hao's back. It was about to fall on Chu Hao. However, at this critical moment, Chu Hao took a step sideways and easily avoided Wang Hao's attack. Then he kicked sideways. It kicked Wang Hao right in the stomach. The severe pain in his stomach made Wang Hao scream. He staggered and fell to the ground. Shen Mengyao heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that Chu Hao was safe and sound. She quickly pulled Chu Hao and checked him up and down. Honey, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? She felt a little annoyed. After all, Wang Hao is still her ex-boyfriend. If Chu Hao gets hurt because of this incident, what if Chu Hao ignored her because of this? She has just gained Chu Hao's favor. Chu Hao shook his head to indicate that he was fine. He turned to look at Wang Hao with a cold expression. That's why he reacts quickly. Otherwise, if you were attacked by surprise like this, you would definitely get injured. You useless bastard, you're attacking me. Who gave you the courage to do that to me? Wang Hao sat on the ground, holding his stomach. He was already full of hatred towards Chu Hao. Hearing such ridicule, he wanted to kill Chu Hao even more. You farted. If I really sneak attack you, do you think you can dodge it? The only thing that is hard about him now is his mouth. However, Chu Hao was too lazy to get entangled with him. He sneered at Wang Hao. He hugged Shen Mengyao and walked away. Wang Hao lay on the ground, and the severe pain in his stomach gradually eased. Wait until Chu Hao and Shen Mengyao walked away. He slowly stood up. Wang Hao stared at the backs of Shen Mengyao and Chu Hao with a sinister look. You two bastards. I must take revenge. The other side. Chu Hao hugged Shen Mengyao and walked towards the cafeteria. He suddenly opened his mouth and asked, "That Wang Hao just now, is he your ex-boyfriend?" Shen Mengyao pressed her whole body against Chu Hao. Hearing this, his face changed. But she still nodded and admitted, yes. Chu Hao continued to ask, "Didn't you say you broke up? Why did he come to see you?" Shen Mengyao thought Chu Hao had misunderstood, and quickly explained, "Hubby, I really broke up with him." But he still didn't give up. He thought I was testing him, so he kept pestering me. I never paid any attention to him. It was not easy to get Chu Hao's favor. She doesn't want to lose everything because of this guy Wang Hao. Chu Hao smiled and pinched the soft flesh on Shen Menyao's waist. I didn't think much about it, I just asked. But he's still clinging to you even though we broke up. Was it you who broke up with him in the first place? Chu Hao really didn't seem to care and was just chatting. Shen Mengyao nodded. Why did you break up in the first place? Chu Hao asked again. Shen Mengyao hesitated for a moment, but still explained, at the beginning, I didn't let him touch me, so he couldn't help it and went to find another woman. After I found out, I broke up with him. Chu Hao nodded, somewhat understanding. It's really torturous to be unable to touch a girlfriend as beautiful as you. But, if you didn't let him touch you in the beginning, why were you so proactive when you were with me? Chu Hao had a playful expression on his face. When two people are together. Except for the first time, Shen Mengyao didn't quite understand and was guided by Chu Hao. In the next few times, Shen Mengyao took action on her own. She even took the initiative to be on top and wanted to be the female rider. If I hadn't seen the marks on the sheets with my own eyes. And Shen Mengyao doesn't seem to be as unfamiliar as she is acting. He couldn't believe that Shen Mengyao would be so conservative. Well, because you are my beloved husband. Shen Menyao's face turned red, but she still took this opportunity to confess to Chu Hao. Chu Hao suddenly felt very comfortable. That's really nice to say. That's what he felt anyway. You are so good at talking, I have to reward you. Chu Hao smiled and couldn't let go of Shen Menyao's slender waist. He even put his hands inside his clothes. Shen Menyao's face flushed, but she obeyed everything. Reward? What reward will my husband give me? Shen Menyao's eyes lit up and she was full of anticipation. Chu Hao smiled and whispered in Shen Menyao's ear, you can guess. I'll give you a hint. Several billion. Shen Mengyao was stunned for a moment, then suddenly reacted and her face turned red. In the cafeteria. Chu Hao and Shen Mengyao bought some things casually. I sat in the cafeteria and started eating. While Chu Hao was eating, his hand was stroking Shen Menyao's thigh back and forth. There's no way, it feels so good. Did you finish eating? Chu Hao asked with a smile. Shen Mengyao nodded. Chu Hao said again, then let's go. I have classes in the afternoon, let's try to come back early. Shen Menyao's face flushed and her eyes gradually became blurred. She already knew what was going to happen and was full of anticipation. Needless to say, it will be a fierce battle. She was ready to do everything she could to please Chu Hao. Shen Mengyao held Chu Hao's arm and followed Chu Hao out of the cafeteria. The parking lot is still a Lamborghini Veneno. Fierce engine roar attracted countless eyes. Soon, the car stopped in the back street. Shen Mengyao looked at the night bar outside with a confused look on her face. Honey, why are you here? She thought Chu Hao was going to take her to a hotel to get a room. After all, we have just agreed on it. But then came the bar. What does this mean? It's only noon now and there's no one in the bar. Of course we come here to have fun. Chu Hao spoke with a smile. Shen Mengyao was still very confused. He further explained, I came here yesterday and thought it was nice, so I bought this place. You bought it? Are you serious, husband? Shen Mengyao was shocked. Just because you thought it was good. This is not a consumable item like bags or clothes. This is a bar. Can you just buy this thing? Moreover, this is the hottest and best bar night near the university town. Honey, if that's the case, you are now the owner of this bar. Shen Mengyao blinked. Compared with Tiannan Square, the value of a mere night bar is naturally not high. What shocked Shen Mengyao was Chu Hao's handwriting. This is too extravagant. This can't even be said to be treating money as dirt. This is worse than dirt, right? You could say that. If you want to come and play in the future, you can bring your sisters with you. Tell me in advance and I'll ask them to waive the bill for you. Chu Hao said with a smile, his tone calm. Shen Mengyao's eyes suddenly lit up. That's a really nice reward. Hubby, you are so kind. Chu Hao smiled and shook his head. That's nothing, just behave yourself after you go in later. Chapter 20 Flirting with Xu Wanwan. More than an hour later. The bar is on the second floor. Chu Hao left contentedly with Shen Mengyao, whose legs were a little weak. Shen Mengyao's face flushed. She finally understood. No wonder Chu Hao brought her here. It turns out that this time, Chu Hao didn't plan to play on the bed. Back to school. Chu Hao sent Shen Mengyao back first. As expected, the Lamborghini Veneno once again attracted countless attention. Became the focus. This made Chu Hao more determined to change his car. It really feels good to be the center of attention. But after the fun, that's it. Chu Hao is numb now. Chu Hao drove to the teaching building. The first class is Xu Wanwan's English class. Xu Wanwan is wearing a professional suit today. Pair with black stockings and black high heels. Only the shirt is white. This is a very regular outfit. But Xu Wanwan is so pretty. Especially the legs, very long and straight. Plus the temperament of the female teacher. In his previous life, Chu Hao only thought it was beautiful, but he didn't have so many thoughts in his mind. But after living a new life, Chu Hao has a firm belief in black. And after watching countless movies, countless classic scenes automatically flashed through his mind. What classroom play, what female teacher's lecture. Cough cough. Chu Hao kept his gaze pure and looked Xu Wanwan up and down. Xu Wanwan is indeed older than Shen Mengyao. But this does not affect Xu Wanwan's charm. And being a few years older just gives Xu Wanwan the perfect amount of mature charm. It's like a young girl and a mature woman. Some people like young girls, some like young women. Chu Hao is different. He likes them all. Xu Wanwan never expected that Chu Hao was thinking about these things. She saw Chu Hao staring at her intently and felt a little confused. Chu Hao, what are you daydreaming about? I'm sorry, Teacher Xu, you're so pretty that I looked at you a few more times. Chu Hao didn't seem shy at all and teased Xu Wanwan instead. Xu Wanwan was stunned for a moment and her face couldn't help but turn red. Of course she knew she was beautiful. But this is the first time, in such a public place, and in the classroom. The two sides have this dialogue in this capacity. This was a bit too much for her to bear. Don't talk nonsense, come in and sit down. She blamed Chu Hao but was not too angry. After all, Chu Hao was also praising her. The students in the classroom looked at this scene in disbelief. Is this the Chu Hao, the taciturn teacher in their memory? When did you become so courageous? You even dare to tease your teacher? Chu Hao smiled and nodded, ignoring the gazes of his classmates in the classroom, and found a seat to sit down. He looked around. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu were already sitting in the classroom. But he still looked haggard. Obviously he hasn't recovered from last night's hangover. But around them. But Wang Ning was gone. Huh? Wang Ning skipped classes. Are you so bold? This is a compulsory course for counselors. Roll call is required in every class. Isn't Wang Ning afraid of having his credits deducted? Chu Hao didn't think much about it. I had a peaceful and smooth class. The next moment later, Chu Hao was about to leave. Suddenly Xu Wanwan called me. Chu Hao, come with me. Chu Hao was a little confused and didn't know why Xu Wanwan wanted to talk to him. Could it be that Liu Jiaqing and the other two are complaining again? Chu Hao followed Xu Wanwan away. Walking behind Xu Wanwan, Chu Hao couldn't help but look at Xu Wanwan from behind. These gourd-shaped curves and these beautiful legs are truly top-notch. In the empty corridor, the sound of Xu Wanwan's high heels tapping could be heard. Soon, the two arrived at Xu Wanwan's office. Teacher Xu, what do you want to talk to me about? Chu Hao took the initiative to ask. Xu Wanwan sat in her seat and looked at Chu Hao. Chu Hao, tell me the truth, did you find someone to take revenge on Wang Ning? Revenge on Wang Ning? Chu Hao was stunned for a moment. What do you mean? He got beaten up. Chu Hao was a little confused. Xu Wanwan kept staring at Chu Hao. Looking at Chu Hao's reaction, she didn't think it was fake. I don't know about that, but Wang Ning asked me for leave, saying that he was injured and needed to go to the hospital. So, I'm just asking you if you know about this. There are some things Xu Wanwan didn't say. Wang Ning reported Chu Hao just yesterday. As a result, Wang Ning was hospitalized today. It's hard not to connect these two things together. So, Xu Wanwan thought of Chu Hao first. What a coincidence. Chu Hao nodded, indicating that he understood the situation. But Mr. Xu, you came to me to ask about this matter. Are you doubting me? Xu Wanwan shook her head. No, but you are the most suspicious, so I want to ask you. Chu Hao was speechless. Isn't this still doubt? Teacher Xu, although there is indeed some grudge between Wang Ning and I. But if I really want to beat him up, I can do it myself. I don't need to find anyone. I just found out about this. Xu Wanwan was a little confused. If it wasn't you who did it, then who could it be? Chu Hao shrugged. That's unclear. Given his personality, it's possible that he could offend anyone. Xu Wanwan had a headache. She waved her hand. In that case, you can go back first. Oh, by the way, next time during class, don't keep staring at me. Pay attention to the class. She kept a straight face and tried to look dignified. Chu Hao looked at the little face pretending to be serious and couldn't help but want to laugh. Because it's so cute and there's no dignity at all. Teacher Xu, how do you know I've been watching you? Could it be that you are looking at me too? Chu Hao openly admitted the fact that he was staring at Xu Wanwan. And then he teased Xu Wanwan instead. Xu Wanwan was speechless. I'm a teacher. I see you're not paying attention in class, so of course I have to keep an eye on you. She couldn't help but feel a little angry. As a teacher, can I not even look at you? Chu Hao couldn't help laughing. Sure, of course. If Teacher Xu wants to watch it, you can watch it every day and whenever you want. Don't talk nonsense. Don't tease me. Xu Wanwan blushed a little. Chu Hao was too proactive, and she felt a little overwhelmed. Go away quickly and stop bullying me here. Don't be so naughty in the future, or I will deduct your credits. Chu Hao smiled and didn't care. But it's almost the same now. Continuing to tease Xu Wanwan might go too far. He did have some thoughts about Xu Wanwan. But there is no rush. After all, Xu Wanwan is only 25 years old now. These few years. I've never heard that Xu Wanwan is in a relationship or anything. Now I blush whenever he teases me. There is still a long time in the future. He had plenty of opportunities. After saying goodbye to Xu Wanwan, Chu Hao left the office. After Chu Hao left, Xu Wanwan touched her hot face. Chapter 21, Wang Ning is hospitalized, body tempering pills. This Chu Hao, why didn't I realize he was so smooth talking before? But even saying this, Xu Wanwan couldn't help but remember every word Chu Hao said. After leaving the office, Chu Hao returned to the classroom. Thinking of what Xu Wanwan had told him, Chu Hao walked directly towards Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu. These two people are still like eggplants hit by frost. But they saw Chu Hao walking towards them. They were still frightened and stood up immediately. Hao, brother Hao. Chu Hao nodded and sat in front of the two of them. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu were a little at a loss. They wanted to sit down, but they didn't dare to, and they didn't know where to put their hands. Chu Hao glanced at them. Why are you so nervous? I'm not going to hit you. Sit. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief and sat down quickly. Chu Hao looked at the two of them and asked, Wang Ning didn't come today. Do you know what happened? Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu looked at each other with puzzled expressions. I don't know. After we woke up, Brother Ning disappeared and he didn't contact us. Their expressions were sincere and a little nervous. But he didn't look like he was lying. Chu Hao knew at a glance that they really didn't know. Wang Ning is in the hospital. Chu Hao told the news he just learned. The two were stunned for a moment. What? Brother Ning is in the hospital. Chu Hao knew it at a glance. These two people really don't know. But he was even more curious. These two lackeys have always been inseparable from Wang Ning. Where is Wang Ning doing? He was beaten and hospitalized, but he didn't even know about his two lackeys. Chu Hao waved his hand and told the two to go away. He couldn't help but feel a little curious. After thinking about it, he took out his cell phone and called Wang Dao. Wang Dao is a local tyrant here. No matter what happens, he will not be able to hide it. Boss, I'm Wang Dao, what can I do for you? Wang Dao's tone was very respectful. Let me ask you, I have a classmate named Wang Ning, do you know him? Chu Hao's tone was much more casual. Wang Ning? I have some impression of him. Of course Wang Dao had an impression. After learning that Chu Hao was the boss, he went to investigate everything that happened that day. Of course you know exactly what happened. He naturally knew about this student who had a grudge against his boss. Wang Ning was beaten and is in the hospital. Chu Hao told the story. Wang Dao was stunned for a moment, being beaten? This shouldn't be a good thing. Wang Dao made no secret of his position. The person who is the boss. The person who had a grudge against the boss was hospitalized, and he couldn't wait to pop open the champagne. Chu Hao was speechless. I know, but I want to know who beat him. Check it for me and tell me the result. Wang Dao didn't quite understand why his boss wanted to send such news. But since it was Chu Hao's order, he will naturally complete it with all his heart. Okay, boss. Give me some time. There will be news soon. Chu Hao nodded and hung up the phone. Of course he believed in Wang Dao's ability. Small things like this should produce results soon. In fact, it is very fast. It's just a few minutes before the second class starts. Wang Dao called back. Boss, I found out. It was Leopard and the others who did it. Wang Dao's tone was still very respectful. He did not feel complacent about what he had done. He knows it very well too. This is just the minimum value. Leopard. Chu Hao was a little confused and had no idea who this was. That's the guy who called himself Brother Leopard from last night. Wang Dao explained. I gave him a beating last night, and he won't be disrespectful to you, boss, ever again. Because it was your classmate who asked him to deal with you. So, he should have blamed this incident on your classmate. As for the result, it's not serious. Just stay in the hospital for 2 days. Wang Dao carefully told Chu Hao everything he had found out. If I wasn't afraid that my boss would think I was nagging. He wanted to tell all the details. Chu Hao didn't take it too seriously. But after knowing the truth of the matter, there was something strange in his mind. What is this? Dog bites dog and ends up with a mouthful of fur? Yes, I understand. Well done, just go do your thing. Chu Hao complimented casually. He asked about this matter simply out of curiosity. Now that I know the result, I am speechless. In school, a few days pass by in a flash. These 3 days. Chu Hao is very honest. No more wandering around. Attend classes every day. At night, I either stay in the school dormitory or take Shen Mengyao back home to rest. It can be said to be as plain as water. But it cannot be said that there was no gain at all. Chu Hao found a great place. That is a special box on the second floor of the night bar. The reason why this box is special. Because this box has one-way transparent glass. You can see outside from inside. But you can't see inside from outside. Looking out from the inside, you can see the bustling hall on the first floor. Not only in front of me, but there is also such glass under my feet. After discovering such a box for the first time, Chu Hao was shocked by her beauty. So the next few times passed. He just wants to take Shen Mengyao with him. Will let Shen Mengyao lie on the glass. Let her look carefully below. He was behind Shen Mengyao. He taught Shen Mengyao everything he knew. Shen Mengyao is also a good student who studies hard. Every time I will gain a lot. Chu Hao was also satisfied that he had taught such an excellent student. Certainly. Chu Hao doesn't have any exhibitionism tendencies. It's just that special feeling. It is indeed intoxicating. These few days. Of course Chu Hao did not forget to draw the lottery. This is his foundation. He even forgot to take Shen Mengyao out to play. I will never forget this incident. But I didn't get any prize from the lottery. It's all cash. There was basically no improvement in assets. After all, the base of 1 trillion is really too large. Certainly. That's what I said. In fact, it is a wealth that many people will never get in their lifetime. Soon. The time came to Friday. Chu Hao was lying on the bed in the dormitory. As soon as I opened my eyes, he immediately started drawing the lottery. This has become a habit. No matter where. Whenever he wakes up the next day, he will draw a lottery. Congratulations to their host for obtaining a primary body tempering pill. The system voice sounded. Chu Hao, lying on the bed, looked at the system's subtitles and blinked. He sat up suddenly. Body tempering pill. He didn't know what this thing was. But this is the first non-asset reward issued by the system. Chu Hao looked down at the pill in his palm. The body tempering pill is emerald green in color and has a faint fragrance. I don't know how it was made. Chapter 22 Chu Hao's changes. Is this the body tempering pill? It looks like a pill. Chu Hao frowned, somewhat unsure. According to the nature of these system draws, the minimum value of each reward is over 10 million. Is this body tempering pill worth tens of millions of fortune in the eyes of the system? System. What is this body tempering pill? He tried to ask the system in his mind. After all, this system is just a lottery system. He wasn't sure if the system would respond. However, the system responded immediately. Body tempering pill. After taking it, the host will be tempered, making the host's physical skills better. After carefully reading the system's explanation, Chu Hao couldn't help but change his expression. Isn't this thing the same as the elixir in fantasy novels? Can it improve physical fitness? Temper the body? Chu Hao was somewhat skeptical. The main reason is that this pill looks ordinary. But if what the system says is true, then the value of this pill is priceless. He is certainly not short of money now. There is actually no shortage of women. But a good body can only be improved through exercise by yourself. Now it seems that the system also seems to know that he lacks this aspect. Chu Hao thought about it and swallowed the pill directly. After all, from the beginning to now, the system never let him down. He still believes in the system. The pill melts in your mouth. It soon turned into a hot current and flowed throughout Chu Hao's body. Chu Hao just felt that his whole body seemed to be soaked in hot water. All warm. After becoming warm, it starts to feel numb. It was as if there was a faint electric current in his body. A few minutes later, this feeling gradually faded away. Chu Hao finally opened his eyes. I have to say, it feels really good. But it was a bit too fast. Is this medicine really useful? Although Chu Hao believed in the system, he still couldn't believe it. So he got out of bed and stood in front of the mirror, looking at himself. His figure can only be described as standard. A little bit of lines. There are no abdominal muscles visible on the stomach. But things are different now. His abdominal muscles are now quite well defined. He has very prominent muscle lines on his body and looks quite handsome. And he could feel that he was very light now. There is no specific date or test. Chu Hao didn't know how much his physical skills had improved. And it's not just the upper body. There are also very obvious changes in the lower body. Certainly. There is no change in little Chu Hao. The main reason is that little Chu Hao is already very strong. And no matter how much it improves, it is just an optimization based on the original one. There is really no room for improvement for Xiao Chu Hao. You can't let little Chu Hao build up a muscular body, right? That's really good. No wonder it was offered as a separate lottery prize. For such a lottery, Chu Hao was naturally very satisfied. I even wish that all future rewards would be like this. He really has no shortage of money now. He didn't even know how long it would take to spend 1 trillion. Not to mention that he also has 2 golden eggs, Night Bar and Tiannan Plaza, that are making money all the time. It's just an improvement or optimization of physical fitness. The effect of exercise alone is really too poor. Only system rewards. Only in this way can he have such obvious changes in a short period of time. After the physical fitness has been significantly improved, Chu Hao naturally wanted to give it a try as well. The best way to experiment. Nature is. Mengyao, go to east tonight. He sent a message to Shen Mengyao. After sending the message, he threw his phone on the bed. Exercising in the dormitory. He had more than just visible muscle on him at this point. And there have been great improvements in all aspects. Jumping ability, explosive power, speed, strength. Improve in all aspects. Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu, who had just returned to the dormitory, were dumbfounded when they saw the obvious change in Chu Hao. They were especially dumbfounded when they saw Chu Hao lift the dumbbells they bought with just one hand. Brother Hao, how come you are so strong? He swallowed, a little frightened. That dumbbell is standard. Can be aggravated. And what Chu Hao lifted was the heaviest. 50 kilograms. Chu Hao raised one hand with a very relaxed expression. Chu Hao glanced at him. Why? You want to try it? Liu Jiaqing was so scared that he quickly waved his hands. No, Brother Hao, I don't mean that. There is no best. Chu Hao snorted coldly. You too remember this. Whether it's you or Wang Ning, if you dare to have any small thoughts in the future, don't blame me for being rude. Before, he was able to suppress 3 people. Now his strength has greatly improved. These 3 guys couldn't run away even if they wanted to. Chu Hao's voice was not loud. But it made Liu Jiaqing and Chen Yu look pale. The 2 of them quickly expressed their loyalty. Anyway, Wang Ning is not here now. They don't feel embarrassed either. Brother Hao, don't worry. We have always been honest and will definitely be honest in the future. They are indeed very honest. After all, Chu Hao told them 2 days ago that Wang Ning was hospitalized. They later found Wang Ning and discovered that he was indeed hospitalized. But Wang Ning was unwilling to say how he was hospitalized. The 2 thought about it and realized that it was Chu Hao who told them about this. Wang Ning didn't dare to say it. Therefore, this matter was attributed to Chu Hao. Although I don't know how far the facts are off. But in reality it seems to be similar. Naturally, the 2 of them would no longer have any thoughts about Chu Hao. After Chu Hao scolded the 2 of them, he didn't care. He was more concerned about the prize for the lottery at this time. There are body tempering pills, are there other pills? Is there a better elixir? And he could feel it. There is still a lot of room for improvement in his ability. It is impossible to expect to improve on your own. He can only hope that the system will continue to reward him with pills. If the pills obtained from the system lottery in the future are good enough, does he have a chance to become Superman? Certainly. He doesn't want to save the world like Superman. But by then he will be truly omnipotent. Rich people are afraid of death. Chu Hao was also afraid. Although the country is safe. But there are always unexpected things. If he becomes Superman, what would he be afraid of? Chu Hao was not immersed in fantasy. He shook his head, pushing those thoughts away. Now he has no way of controlling the variables. You can only wait for the system's reward. The first thing to do now is to change a car. That's right. Chu Hao thought about it. This is the only thing that is most important. He changed his clothes and left the dormitory. Go to the parking lot. It happens that I don't have class today. He plans to change to a more low-key car. He actually thought about calling Shen Mengyao. But Shen Mengyao has classes all day today. There is simply no time. Chu Hao had no choice but to go by himself. As for asking Shen Mengyao to take leave, that is not necessary. And he doesn't want his woman to be of ours. Chapter 23 High School Class Beauty Shushaiting. Chu Hao understood very well that if 2 people wanted to keep the relationship fresh, they had to keep their distance. They spent enough time together every night. Continue to stay together during the day. I watch Shen Mengyao for nearly 20 hours a day. Even though Shen Mengyao is very beautiful, he would get bored of it quickly. Driving poison. Chu Hao sped along the road. More than half an hour later, Chu Hao came to the 4th Son's shop in Yunduan Xinyuan BMW for Son's store. Chu Hao parked the car and walked into the store alone. Because it's morning. Plus, the value of the BMW brand is there. So the store was very quiet. Anyway, Chu Hao didn't see anyone. After Chu Hao walked into the store, several salesmen who were very idle immediately had their eyes brightened. Hello, welcome to Yunduan Xinyuan BMW 4S store. Do you have any car models you like? A sweet-looking female salesperson immediately came over and spoke to Chu Hao enthusiastically. Chu Hao nodded and was about to speak, but was interrupted by the sound of high heels. Da 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 da. Following the direction of the sound, Chu Hao turned his head and looked. A young woman in a black suit came over. With the appearance of this woman, the salesmen in the hall who were originally smiling suddenly changed their expressions. Manager Shu. All the salesmen hurriedly greeted us. There was fear on his face, like a mouse seeing a cat. The young woman nodded, indifferently. She looked at Chu Hao, just a casual glance. But after seeing Hao's face clearly, she was stunned. You are Chu Hao. Chu Hao was stunned for a moment and looked at the young woman. He just felt that the woman looked familiar. But I didn't remember it at all. When he looked at this woman just now, he just thought that she was pretty. She's dressed a bit like Xu Wanwan, but more professional than Xu Wanwan. But the other party called out his name. He was also a little confused. Who are you? I'm Xu Shiting. You don't remember me? Xu Shiting explained with a smile. Xu Shiting. Chu Hao frowned and thought in his mind. I have to say, Chu Hao has some natural impressions of beautiful women. After carefully looking at Xu Shiting's face, the memories in Chu Hao's mind gradually revived. Xu Shiting. Chu Hao's high school classmate. She is also the class beauty. Certainly. This is what some boys think. After all, for high school students, there is no possibility of selecting the class beauty. Plus, studying is very stressful. It is impossible for everyone to do such a thing. Only when I was in my senior year of high school, Xu Shiting transferred to another school and left. Later, Chu Hao never saw Xu Shiting again. Several years passed. Naturally, Chu Hao almost forgot about Xu Shiting. Unexpectedly, they will meet here. Chu Hao looked at Xu Shiting with some curiosity. In comparison, Xu Shiting has changed a lot now. Apart from the face, you can still see some of her past appearance. She no longer looks like the young girl she once was. Especially those long legs wrapped in stockings. When I was in high school, who would have thought that the former class beauty would be like this now? And in high school, they all wore tacky and ugly school uniforms. No one would have thought of it. Xu Shiting's legs are so beautiful. It's true that girls change a lot when they grow up. Chu Hao couldn't help but think about it. Maybe it's because they entered society earlier. Therefore, Xu Shiting has a more mature aura. She looks much more mature than Shen Mengyao. But not as good as Xu Wanwan. I remember now. I didn't expect it was you, old classmate. Chu Hao smiled. Xu Shiting also laughed. Yeah, I didn't expect to meet you here again. It's fate. If I remember correctly, from the time I transferred to this school until now, it's been for 5 years, right? Chu Hao nodded and said with a smile, I just heard them say that you are the manager here. Xu Shiting nodded. Nothing, just brought it up. She said with a smile. Although he is humble in words. But in fact, the smugness on his face could not be wiped off. Don't just talk about me, what are you doing now? Xu Shiting asked. At the same time, he looked at Chu Hao. Chu Hao is now very sensitive to other people's gazes. Naturally, he noticed Xu Shiting's gaze. Chu Hao narrowed his eyes and said with a smile, what else can I do? Of course, go to school. Oh, school. The smile on Xu Shiting's face faded a little. Yunju University. It seems to be the only university nearby. Xu Shiting asked. Chu Hao nodded. Yes, Yunju University. That's amazing. He's a top student from Yunju University. Xu Shiting flattered him, but the smile on her face was already very faint. Chu Hao naturally noticed this. But he didn't say it out loud, just a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It seems able to be a manager. Xu Shiting is also very perceptive. Plus she's good looking. Only somewhat realistic. But think about it. Chu Hao is a student. Come to BMW's for son's store. No matter how you think about it, it's impossible that he came here to consume. It is a luxury brand after all. So you came here today to look at cars. Xu Shiting finally got to the point. Chu Hao nodded. He could feel it. While saying this, Xu Shiting has completely lost her enthusiasm. Yeah, just came to take a look. Chu Hao pretended to be unaware. The smile on Xu Shiting's face has completely disappeared. However, Chu Hao changed the subject. If it's suitable, we can book it today. Order directly. Xu Shiting was stunned for a moment. Obviously, he didn't expect Chu Hao to actually plan to spend money. And it's so simple and direct. Are college students so rich now? Xu Shiting was somewhat confused. Chu Hao nodded. It's just a mobility scooter. I still have enough money. He chuckled and calmly moved next door. TSK, this amount of money, hundreds of thousands are considered this amount. Old classmate, you are really amazing. Xu Shiting's face was full of smiles again. If Chu Hao really just came to take a look. They are just classmates. But if Chu Hao has money to buy a car, then the relationship will be taken to the next level. Although Xu Shiting is now a manager. But this does not conflict with selling cars. After all, the main source of income for employees at a car sales shop is still selling cars. There are also various types of insurance. No one can resist money. And Xu Shiting is the manager. The commission you can get is much higher than that of ordinary employees. She naturally would not miss such an opportunity. Think of this. Xu Shiting walked towards us in high heels. Da. Every step the high heels took seemed to step on Chu Hao's heart. The sales girl standing next to Chu Hao quickly greeted him, Manager Xu. Xu Shiting smiled and waved her hand. You go and do your work, my old classmate, of course I will come to receive you personally. The sales girl was a little reluctant. But Xu Shiting is a manager after all. Chapter 24, Training Xu Shiting. Chu Hao and Xu Shiting are classmates. It makes sense. Xu Shiting has reasons to snatch this order. Okay, Manager Xu. After saying that, the sales girl left. Come on, old classmate, come with me to my office and sit down for a while. Xu Shiting enthusiastically pulled Chu Hao's arm. If outsiders saw them, they would think that their relationship was very familiar and close. But in reality, they are just ordinary classmates. Chu Hao didn't mind. He let Xu Shiting pull him towards the office. After arriving at the office, Xu Shiting asked Chu Hao to sit on the sofa first. Please sit down first. I'll pour you a glass of water. Chu Hao sat down. Xu Shiting took a disposable paper cup and walked to the water dispenser to get some water. I don't know whether it was intentional or not. Xu Shiting had her back to Chu Hao, her legs straight, her butt sticking out to catch the water. Chu Hao could see it at a glance. He couldn't help but take a deep breath. No wonder Xu Shiting can become a manager at such a young age. This kind of small detail is really not something that others can do. Let us not talk about business capabilities first. But this aspect. Xu Shiting is indeed top-notch. Come on, old classmate, have some water. Xu Shiting sat opposite Chu Hao and pushed the cup of water in front of Chu Hao. When placing the water cup, Xu Shiting bent down slightly. The majestic career style just leaked out from the gap of the shirt. Chu Hao took it all in. It's still the details. Chu Hao looked calm and took 2 glances. When Xu Shiting stood up, he withdrew his gaze as if nothing had happened. Xu Shiting had no idea that her naked body was exposed. She picked up the tablet beside her. Old classmate, what price range of car do you want to buy? As an old classmate, I will definitely give you a discount. 300,000. Or 500,000. Xu Shiting's face was all smiles when she talked about business. However, Chu Hao shook his head. Neither. No. Xu Shiting was stunned for a moment. She frowned slightly. She thought that her old classmate Chu Hao was teasing her. As long as it's suitable, I can accept any price. Chu Hao looked at Xu Shiting meaningfully. Of course he was telling the truth. Not to mention the cars here. Even this store. He can buy them all. Just a shop with 4 sons. However, such words fell into Xu Shiting's ears. But she subconsciously thought that Chu Hao was showing off. What price is acceptable? Well said. BMW's top series are worth millions. And there are quite a few cars worth millions. Just a student. How can I have the money to buy a car? Certainly. As a qualified salesperson. Of course, Xu Shiting couldn't show such thoughts on her face. My old classmate is really generous in his words. She was all smiles. In that case, how about this car? Xu Shiting slid her slender fingers across the tablet and handed it to Chu Hao to see. BMW 5 Series. Over 40 without a car, but under 60 when it's landed. Chu Hao took a look. BMW 5 Series. It's really good. But he wanted to keep a low profile. It's not such a low-key method. The drop directly from Lamborghini Veneno to BMW V is too big. There will be more people in the family in the future. You can consider buying one to buy groceries. It's too common. It's everywhere on the street. Chu Hao shook his head in rejection. Ordinary. Xu Shiting blinked. That seems to be correct. Moreover, Chu Hao's tone was too calm and his expression did not change much. It doesn't seem like he's really pretending. Xu Shiting's eyes brightened a little. It seems that this old classmate has really made a fortune. What about this one? Xu Shiting swiped her finger, and another car appeared in front of Chu Hao. The BMW 7 Series is long enough, has plenty of space inside, and is powerful. 80 for a bear car, about 100 for a grounded car. Many bosses will choose this car. Chu Hao still shook his head. No, it's too old-fashioned. It's weird for me, a student, to drive this car. Still not working. What about this one? Xu Shiting frowned. She paddled to the BMW X5. SUV is the first choice for young people. The price of high-end models is less than 1 million yuan, and the driving experience is absolutely top-notch. Chu Hao still shook his head. This car has the same chassis as the 5 Series. Xu Shiting has begun to frown. She couldn't help but doubt. Is Chu Hao really rich, or is he here to make fun of her? Thinking of this, Xu Shiting began to lower the budget. What about the BMW 4 Series? It is the first choice for young people as their first sports car. Young people will definitely want to drive a sports car. Don't like two-door cars. How about this one? BMW 3, sports version, young people like it very much. This one is also good, the BMW X3, which also has high sales. In the office, Xu Shiting kept recommending various car models to Chu Hao. But Chu Hao kept shaking his head to reject it. It seemed that none of these cars could enter Chu Hao's sight. Xu Shiting couldn't help it anymore. Finally. 10 minutes later. Bump! There was a loud bang. The office door was slammed shut by Xu Shiting. Xu Shiting left the office wearing high heels and with a sullen face. In the hall, a group of salesmen are still busy with their own things. Hearing the sound, I couldn't help but look up. Xiaowen, I'll give you 20 minutes. Go to the office and take this order. Or, just get him out. Xiaowen was the female salesperson who first received Chu Hao. The young salesperson was stunned when he heard what Xu Shiting said. What are you still standing there for? Go now. Xu Shiting scolded again. After saying that, he turned and walked towards the bathroom. When Xiaowen heard Xu Shiting's instructions, he did not dare to neglect them. Ran quickly into the office. Boom boom boom. The little girl knocked on the door and pushed it open a crack. I just happened to see Chu Hao sitting on the sofa. Sir, our manager has something to do. I will introduce it to you next. The little girl was very polite. What's up? Chu Hao couldn't help but smile. Something is fake, and being angry is real, right? Chu Hao was not surprised. Who else would be teased by him like that? I guess everyone will be angry. Although the salesperson is indeed good-tempered. But he is not without temper. But Chu Hao was not really teasing Xu Shiting. Mainly because Xu Shiting introduced him for a long time. The most expensive car is the BMW 7. The landing price is only about 1 million. There was no way to satisfy him. No need for introductions. Chu Hao waved his hand. Xiaowen was stunned for a moment, not quite understanding what Chu Hao meant. The most expensive car here is the BMW 7, right? Xiaowen nodded, very well behaved. Yes, sir. Are there any cars available? Chu Hao asked again. Xiaowen blinked, somewhat unresponsive. Chu Hao found it funny and asked again, I say, do you have a car in stock? Xiaowen finally reacted and blushed. Please wait a moment, sir. I'll check it out. She stood up, walked to the corner of the office, picked up her cell phone and started calling. Soon, Xiaowen came back. Sir, I asked, and there is one in the store right now. Chapter 25. I'm so stupid, really. But sir, the price of this car, the official suggested retail price is 2.6 million. Although there are discounts, the price is more than 3 million after taking into account the purchase tax and various taxes and fees. This price. Xiaowen was too embarrassed to continue. It's not that she looks down on Chu Hao's spending power. But the price. Most people really can't afford it. And the price is 3 million. You can buy some ordinary supercars. Used to buy a BMW 7. It's a bit of a waste indeed. Yeah, this car. Go and knock on the contract. Chu Hao didn't care. He took out his bank card and pushed it to Xiaowen. Xiaowen was stunned for a moment and hadn't reacted yet. A BMW worth more than 3 million. Just buy it like that. Why does it feel so unreal? After a while, Xiaowen finally reacted. I couldn't help but swallow hard. A 3 million BMW. This sold out. She will get a huge commission. What are you standing there for? Sign the contract. Chu Hao urged her. Xiaowen nodded quickly, took Chu Hao's bank card and was about to leave. But when Xiaowen was about to go out, Chu Hao suddenly said, remember, the performance of this car is in your name. I won't give it to anyone who wants it. Although this performance is the same for everyone. But he just gave Xu Shiting a chance. Xu Shiting herself didn't grasp it. Naturally, you can't blame him. This is an old classmate. This can be considered as Chu Hao's punishment for Xu Shiting. Xiaowen was stunned for a moment. She didn't quite understand what Chu Hao meant. But I will definitely copy it. After Chu Hao and Xiaowen left, I couldn't help but recall the scenes that just happened in the office. I have to say, Xu Shiting, the class beauty in high school, is really attractive. The important thing is, this woman is very capable. After all, Shen Mengyao has not experienced the baptism of society and still has the innocence of a student. Thinking of what he had just seen, Chu Hao became somewhat tempted. Shen Mengyao is indeed pretty. But I played it for so many days in a row. Chu Hao wasn't bored though. But I also want to slow down the taste. It just so happened that Shen Mengyao was the campus belle during his college years. Xu Shiting was the most beautiful girl in his class during high school. Plus there's the bonus of old acquaintances. If I could hold this woman down, won't the sense of accomplishment in your heart be able to explode? Have you heard? The gentleman just now wants to order a BMW 760. Fuck, really? 760 will cost 300 yuan when it lands, right? I never expected that he looks so young but is so heroic. Xiaowen, you made a lot of money. One order is worth hundreds of thousands. By the way, isn't that gentleman a classmate of Manager Xu? How could Manager Xu be willing to give up such a large order? In their hall, a group of salesmen couldn't help but talk about it. BMW 760. Their store sells only a few cars a year. Not to mention that it was bought by a customer as young as Chu Hao. And this price would buy luxury cars. Of course they wouldn't think anything of it. But 3 million for a BMW. They thought it was too extravagant. Xu Shiting, who had just walked out of the bathroom, happened to hear the discussion and couldn't help but be stunned. Chu Hao actually ordered a car? Or a BMW 760? How is this possible? Xu Shiting knows Chu Hao quite well. When I was in high school, Chu Hao's family is very ordinary. Now several years have passed. I haven't even graduated from college yet. How can you be so rich? Is this guy trying to piss me off on purpose because I turned my head against him? Xu Shiting couldn't help but think in her heart. Many people spend money on impulse. She felt that Chu Hao was such a person. If you can make me angry like this, then you underestimate me. It would be fine if I really bought it. Xu Shiting sneered. She still didn't think Chu Hao could afford it. Many people will never be able to afford such a car in their lifetime. After all, you can earn 3 million. And having 3 million are two different things. Not to mention using the money to buy a BMW. Xu Shiting was originally dissatisfied with Chu Hao. Now I look down on Chu Hao even more. It's not sad to have no money. But it would be sad if you pretend to be rich even though you have no money. However, the subsequent development of the event was beyond Xu Shiting's expectations. Xiaoan quickly walked into the office with the contract and the manager of the Fourth Son's store. Both parties signed the contract quickly. It took less than 10 minutes. All contracts have been signed. Especially the manager of the Four Sons store. When he saw that 3 million was actually withdrawn from Chu Hao's card. The old face is almost smiling. Mr. Chu, congratulations on becoming the distinguished owner of our BMW. Are you going to drive away now? Or should we help you go through the procedures and put up the license plate first? Of course you can drive away now. Just put up a temporary license plate. Later, Chu Hao can also ask people in his Fourth Son's store to help hang the sign. Chu Hao glanced at the car keys. A very ordinary key. It's far less technological than his poison car key. You guys fix it. I drove here. After it's done, you guys send the car to Yunju University. Chu Hao's tone was very calm. It was as if I had just bought a small commodity. Don't worry, Mr. Chu. We will work overtime to help you get everything done as soon as possible. The store manager was very respectful. A big customer like Chu Hao. He will naturally do his best to protect it. Chu Hao nodded. He left the Sai Sun's shop, got in a Lamborghini Veneno, and drove away. The manager of the Fourth Son's store and all the employees were at the door, watching Chu Hao go away. After Chu Hao completely disappeared from their sight. Many people came to their senses at this point. The legendary Lamborghini Venom. If he can afford poison, no wonder he doesn't care about buying a BMW. The store manager couldn't help but sigh. His face was full of sadness. A BMW worth 3 million does sound impressive. But compared to poison, then it's nothing. Among the crowd, Xu Shiting watched all this in amazement. His face was distraught. She just thought Chu Hao was just a poor loser who loved to show off. The results now appear. She's like a joke. Chu Hao didn't take her seriously at all. If she had persisted just now. This order is hers. This is an order worth 3 million. How is this possible? He obviously comes from an ordinary family. Has he been pretending? I was so blind that I actually thought he was a poor man. I'm so stupid, really. Xu Shiting murmured to herself in her heart, regretting so much that she wanted to slap herself in the face. She is very shrewd. When I was in the office before, she could sense that Chu Hao was interested in her. Compared to lost orders, this is the most important thing. A rich man who can easily spend 3 million to buy a car. If she could have further development with Chu Hao, just let her see something between her fingers. It's for her to eat for the rest of her life. Chapter 26. Shen Mingyao's roommate. Although he was young, he became the manager of the Sai Sun store. But Xu Shiting is obviously not satisfied with her current situation. However, the opportunity to change the situation is right in front of us. But she pushed it away herself. How could Xu Shiting not regret it? Chu Hao had already anticipated Xu Shiting's thoughts. It was as if Xu Shiting could sense his thoughts. He could see that too. Xu Shiting really wants to make money. Make big money. So, he threw the bait to Xu Shiting. Now it depends on when the fish will take the bait. I remember that you have my friend. Chu Hao glanced at his phone and smiled. Back to school. Soon it was afternoon. I have to say, the Zizi store serves distinguished guests like Chu Hao wholeheartedly. Just a few hours. The BMW 760 had completed all the formalities and was delivered to Chu Hao. In the parking lot of Yunju University, the employees of the Fourth Son's store handled the handover with Chu Hao cautiously. A luxury car worth 3 million. Just a little scratch. He has worked for nothing this year. If something serious happens, he may have to pay for it all his life. He couldn't help being careful. Mr. Chu, if there is no problem with your inspection, please sign here. The staff handed the contract to Chu Hao. Chu Hao checked it casually and signed his name on it. It's just a BMW, not worth his attention. After completing all the formalities, the staff finally breathed a sigh of relief. After respectfully bidding farewell to Chu Hao, he hurriedly left Yunju University. It's okay this time. You don't have to be so high profile. Chu Hao looked at the brand new BMW and muttered to himself. The BMW 760 has a lot of good things going for it. For example, the space is bigger and he can bring more people. Of course, it must be a girl. And it's just a BMW after all. In many eyes, this is just an ordinary BMW. One benefit of having more space is that you can do all kinds of things in the car. The interior space of the Lamborghini Veneno is actually not small. But the problem is that it is impossible to do anything else. There is nothing wrong with the normal posture. Think of this. Chu Hao sent a message to Shen Mengyao. When I was at the Four Sons store, he was interested in shoeshaiting. Now the new cars have arrived. This is a good solution. I also want to ask when Shen Mengyao will be able to come out. Ever since I took the body tempering pill, Chu Hao's physical fitness is indeed very good. But same. His needs are also much greater. Now he just wanted to find Shen Mengyao to resolve the issue as soon as possible. In the girls' dormitory. After Shen Mengyao received the message from Chu Hao, she hurriedly prepared to go out. But she was just about to leave. Then I heard my roommate's voice. Mengyao, you look so beautiful with your makeup on, are you going on a date again? Lin Meng, the oldest in the dormitory, asked. Yes, Mengyao, it's been a few days now. You go out every day, and come back late at night. Even if you are in the passionate period of love, this is too frequent, isn't it? Yi Shintong, who was sitting on the bed, couldn't help but speak. The last roommate, Lin Shui, didn't say anything. But he also looked at Shen Mengyao. All three of them looked at Shen Mengyao. It is no longer a secret that Shen Mengyao is with Chu Hao. But being stared at by three roommates, she couldn't help but blushing. What do you know? A bunch of singles. You'll understand once you have a partner. Shen Mengyao couldn't help but tease her three roommates. Isn't it just the object? You're talking as if we can't find it. Big sister Lin Meng couldn't help but curl her lips. We are just curious about what is so attractive about your husband that attracts you so much. Seeing you being happy and proactive every day, I'm a little jealous. Yi Shintong also said. Yes, that's what we're curious about, tell me quickly. Is he really good at fighting? I heard that he seemed to have beaten your ex-boyfriend down. It's no secret that Chu Hao beat up Shen Mengyao's ex-boyfriend. Almost the entire girls' dormitory knew about it. After all, we were just downstairs of the girls' dormitory that day. Shen Mengyao couldn't help but fall into deep thought. What on earth attracted her to Chu Hao? After thinking about it, Shen Mengyao thought of the most crucial point. That means Chu Hao is rich. Chu Hao can give her the life she wants. Certainly. After having sufficient material foundation. The countless shining points on Chu Hao also attracted Shen Mengyao. The place that attracts me the most. Shen Mengyao didn't know what to say. No way. Can't tell? Mengyao, you can't tell a single thing, right? It can't be alive, right? Lin Shui, the second in the dormitory, couldn't help but tease. Girls drive much faster than boys in private. In the dormitory, they are all girls. They would also talk about such topics. Shen Mengyao is thinking seriously. Suddenly I heard my second sister say this. I couldn't help but blush. You are such an old witch. That's not the case. Shen Mengyao retorted with a red face. Har har har, what's so shameful about this? I see you go out every day with a rosy face, so what you said must be correct, right? I'm just reminding you, this is also an advantage. Lin Shui couldn't help but continue teasing. It's not just Lin Shui. Lin Meng was also looking at Shen Mengyao. Only Yi Shintong was still naive and didn't react at all at first. But she soon understood. Then she blushed. Shen Mengyao blushed and rolled her eyes at the sisters Lin Shui and Lin Meng. But she still couldn't help but recall the scenes with Chu Hao. For so long. Chu Hao has always been very energetic. Every time is very fierce. She couldn't bear it every time. If we really want to talk about it from this perspective, then Lin Shui was right. Forget it. I'm leaving now. Shen Mengyao was speechless. Her roommate is usually a goddess when she is outside and in front of others. The result was in the dormitory. He dares to say anything. Leaving now? Don't be in a hurry. Seeing Shen Mengyao was about to leave, Lin Shui hurriedly stopped her. What else do you want to do? Shen Mengyao asked. I don't intend to do anything, but if it's your husband, it's not impossible. Lin Shui directly confessed her thoughts. Shen Mengyao couldn't help but smile. Her eyes swept across Lin Shui and finally stopped on the red panda. I'm not trying to discourage you, but my husband wouldn't be interested in you if you took off all your clothes, like a little panda. Shen Mengyao laughed out loud. Lin Shui's face suddenly darkened. This has always been a pain in her heart. Especially since Yishintong was in the dormitory. Don't say that. I want to fight you. Lin Shui was a little furious. Second sister, your mentality is not good. Are you already broken? Shen Mengyao laughed triumphantly. Come on, what do you want to say? After the joke, Shen Mengyao became serious. What else can I say? I just want to see your good husband whom you think about day and night. Chapter 27. The oldest little sister Yishintong. Lin Shui was a little annoyed. After all, she is my best friend. Logically, they should be checking for Shen Mengyao. As a result, Shen Mengyao has completely given herself away. It's no use for them to keep watch. My ears are getting calluses from listening to you every day. It just so happens that we don't have anything to do today, so you can ask if we can go together. Lin Shui looked at Shen Mengyao. Lin Meng also echoed. Yes, we will go over there too and help you check it. Even though you've been eaten up, we don't mind. Yishintong didn't have any ideas at first. But when I heard my two sisters say this, I immediately started to join in the fun. I want to go too. Mengyao, tell your husband right away. Let's go and have a look together. Shen Mengyao was a little hesitant. With roommates. 2 people on a date with 3 light bulbs. Isn't this a bit weird? She didn't really have any ideas. But I'm afraid Chu Hao will mind. Then let me ask. Shen Mengyao took out her cell phone and sent a message to Chu Hao. Honey, my 3 roommates want to join us, is that okay? After a while, Shen Mengyao received a reply from Chu Hao. Just a few simple words. Is it beautiful? Shen Mengyao's face was full of question marks. My husband's focus seems a bit strange. It's beautiful. Shen Mengyao answered truthfully. Chu Hao's reply was very quick. Can. Shen Mengyao looked at Chu Hao's reply and felt a little sad. Even though she had already prepared herself mentally. It can be seen that Chu Hao is so honest and wants to flirt with other girls. She still felt a little uncomfortable. More often than not, it's a matter of laughing and crying. Okay, pack up, I'll take you with me. Shen Mengyao put away her phone and looked at her 3 roommates. When Lin Meng and the other 2 heard this, their eyes lit up. They kept listening to Shen Mengyao talking about Chu Hao. Do I finally have the chance to see the true face of Mount Lu today? 10 minutes later. Downstairs of the girls' dormitory. Chu Hao drove his newly bought BMW and parked downstairs. As expected. The car didn't attract much attention. Chu Hao had just parked the car. Then I saw Shen Mengyao walking out of the dormitory building with 3 beauties. Chu Hao stood by the car and waved at Shen Mengyao, this way. Shen Mengyao looked over in the direction of their voice and immediately smiled sweetly. Husband! Shen Mengyao shouted and came over with 3 roommates. Chu Hao smiled and nodded, his eyes sweeping over Shen Mengyao's 3 roommates. Among them, Lin Shui and Lin Meng can only be described as beautiful in appearance. Her figure can only be described as average. After Shen Mengyao was born, Chu Hao had little interest in this. It was the youngest one, Yishintong. Chu Hao couldn't help but feel his eyes light up. This car light is so bright that it blinds the eyes. Today, Yishintong wore a Lolita princess dress, a pair of white stockings, and a pair of black leather shoes. Obviously dressed up. Even though she was wearing a skirt, the neckline was high. But the 2 big headlights were still swaying in front of him. It can't be blocked at all. Yishintong is here. Not to mention Lin Shui and Lin Meng, who have average figures. Even Shen Mengyao, who has a great figure, pales in comparison. This girl, all her nutrition went into the headlights, right? Led by Shen Mengyao, 4 people came over. Husband. Shen Mengyao called out sweetly. Chu Hao smiled and nodded, then asked, Are these your roommates? Yes, that's them. This is my eldest sister and second sister, Lin Shui and Lin Meng, and this is my youngest sister, Yi Shintong. Shen Mengyao nodded and introduced Chu Hao. Chu Hao had a calm expression and nodded as a greeting. I couldn't help but sigh in my heart. Little sister. This is obviously the biggest, right? Shen Mengyao introduced the three sisters. I have to introduce Chu Hao to my three sisters again. No need to introduce yourself. We hear Mengyao mention you every day. Hello Chu Hao, I'm Lin Meng, nice to meet you. The eldest sister Lin Meng took the initiative to extend her hand. Chu Hao and Lin Meng shook hands and separated immediately. Mengyao talks about me every day. Yeah, I talk about it every day. Even though I've never seen it, I've known about it for a long time. Lin Meng said with a smile. Chu Hao couldn't help but nodded. Although Lin Meng's appearance and figure can only be considered above average. But this elegant and graceful temperament is also very attractive. At least now, it is rare to see girls like this. And as Shen Mengyao's roommate, it is indeed a plus point. So, I am considered an acquaintance in your dormitory. Chu Hao smiled. Get in the car, I'll take you to the night. As he spoke, Chu Hao opened the car door. Only then did Shen Mengyao notice that Chu Hao did not drive the Lamborghini Veneno today. Honey, did you change your car? Is this a BMW? Shen Mengyao naturally knew BMW. Well, I went out for a walk this morning and bought it when I thought it was suitable. His tone was flat, as if he was just buying some clothes and vegetables. Hearing Chu Hao's words, Shen Mengyao was fine, she knew Chu Hao was rich. The other three girls were a little shocked. This attitude. They heard from Shen Mengyao that Chu Hao was rich. But in fact, I have no idea. Now I seem to understand a little. Honey, what BMW is this? It looks so big. Girls' knowledge of cars is limited to a few simple logos. They don't understand anything more profound. Shen Mengyao at least recognized the car logo. Others didn't even recognize the car logo. Because they are not interested in cars at all. BMW 7. Chu Hao said whatever he wanted to say. I have absolutely no intention of pretending in front of a few girls. Shen Mengyao, however, pressed the issue. BMW 7? It must be several 100,000, right? Lin Meng also became interested. Maybe it's just to find a topic. Of course they also know that BMW is a luxury car. In their eyes, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a car is already a luxury. Chu Hao smiled. If this car is put into production, it will cost about 3 million. He did not laugh at Lin Meng for her lack of knowledge. The main reason is that girls of this era are still very innocent. I won't take the initiative to learn about too many things that I'm not interested in. As soon as these words came out, their whole car fell silent instantly. 3 million. Chu Hao said it simply. But for the four girls, it's like a depth charge. Shen Mengyao is actually fine. She knew how much money Chu Hao had. She was shocked to buy a car for 3 million. But I think this car is quite expensive. Chu Hao was really willing to do so. Such thoughts. Moreover, she also learned about Chu Hao's previous Lamborghini Venom. Tens of millions of luxury cars. Compare it to that car. This car is naturally nothing special. But for Lin Meng and the other two girls, it's completely different. They did hear it from Shen Mengyao. Chu Hao is rich. But having money and being rich are two completely different things. If you have money, you can spend it freely and you don't have to worry about food and drink. 3 million to buy any car and he doesn't care at all. Also rich. The girl's perception of Chu Hao underwent a drastic change.